I don't know what it is about Bose, but these sport headphones, earbuds, I should say, have the nice hooks in them. But I can hear myself talking outside, whereas regular earbuds, you hear your chest voice. It's kind of a pain in the ass. What do you use, by the way? Use a headset or what?
For this, I've got the ye old Blue Yeti mic that I bought 400 years ago.
Sounds good.
Back when that was the thing to buy. Right. And I don't know, some pair of Sony, I think they're Sony headphones that basically there was a guy I followed online who was like, hey, I have a podcast. Here's what I bought. It's fine and inexpensive. I was like, I'm going to buy that. That sounds good. Let's do that.
Yeah. I always like the earbuds.
Just a pair of closed headphones. Because I was reading, I was like, just get something closed that's not going to, you're not going to hear yourself bleed through. So,
right.
That's what I bought.
I
resisted the urge to upgrade ever since.
I like bleeding through because I like to be able to, I don't know what it is, man. When I hear too much of my chest voice, it bugs me for some reason. I don't know.
I get that.
Yeah.
I have the same problem gaming because I've got a series of just like earbuds. I plug into the controller.
Right, me too.
And then my wife will come into the room, not trying to sneak up on me, but she'll sneak up on me because I hear nothing else outside of the game.
I know. My wife does. You know what my wife does? She flashes the light on and off where she comes in.
And then you think you're having a stroke. Like, what?
No.
Right?
Yeah, at first, but then I'm like, okay. It's either she's telling me dinner's ready or, she's home and like she'll probably pop in here in a minute. She's been out shopping. I went and got dinner with my daughter and her, and they branched off and went shopping, which, yeah, no thanks. They went to Kohl's to look for shoes. I'm like, I'm out. I'll see you at home.
I've got shoes. I'm good. Thanks.
Yeah, you're like, can I say no fast enough?
Yeah, God, they already knew it. They already knew it wasn't coming. So,
Guardian down.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Thanks for hanging out with us today. Welcome to episode 120. Damn, Hazel. 120.
Damn.
Guardian Down cast. We're a couple dads that love all things in the Destiny universe, and we talk about it. We also interview content creators and community members to find out more about them. We're the show that asks, did you finish getting your treats this week? I'm your host, The Gator. And my co-host Hazel is here as well. How's the week been, man?
All right. I thought for sure you were going to ask, do you want a piece of candy?
No.
That's going to get us in trouble.
No. Did you see that meme in our Discord? Kids who want some free candy on October 31st and November 1st came and the same guy was out there. Hey, kids, you want some free candy? And it's a little weird.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Sadly, I kind of did not get any of the Iron Banner stuff done. Or not the Iron Banner, I'm sorry, the Festival of the Lost stuff done. Not really, sadly, I just didn't give a shit. So, but yeah, I wanted to do it, and I'm just like, nah, I've got other stuff I'd rather do in the game than that. So,
yeah, I get that.
Yeah, I got my Calavera shell. That's really all that I truly wanted. Nice. And my bat wings. So
nice. I got the bat wings too. That just you can't beat that intro. Entering in from a spawn.
Yep, exactly. But besides that, this week has been pretty awesome in terms of Destiny. But we'll talk about that a little bit later, though.
Okay.
But yeah, aside from that, everybody's good. Found out that 2 people at my job are quitting. My boss is like talking to me like, hey, what's going on? Why is this happening? And I'm just like... yeah. Okay.
I get you.
Let me tell you why. Mm-hmm. Enjoy. I'm gonna pull the pin on the grenade and throw it to you. Catch. So, yeah. And, so that's been my week, in the life of, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, we finished, Manifest.
Oh, what'd you think?
I fucking loved it.
Yeah, I thought it was good. I'm looking forward to the next season, but it's going to be a while.
That ending, my wife teared up.
Really?
I had like a lump in my throat. I was like,
okay.
Oh my. I'm like, don't cry.
The problem was when I saw it, I was like, I thought this was the last season. Then I see the thing afterwards that says there will be another season. I'm like, oh, it all makes sense now. Okay.
Well, there wasn't a last season.
There wasn't going to be. Exactly.
Yeah. Do you know what's funny though? Do you know when they renewed it?
Mm-mm.
August 28th, 8/28.
Oh, no shit.
That shit was
what a
fucking
publicity
awesome.
stunt. Oh my God.
I know, right? Yeah. My wife told me that and I just lost it. So, and then my wife and I also finished another show too, that Only Murders in the Building.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
definitely highly recommended. I know I
Really?
mentioned that before.
Yeah.
So.
I remember last week. Yeah. My wife is kind of halfway through it, and I got too much other stuff. I'll talk about it. I got too much other stuff
Glorious.
I'm watching so much TV right now. It's just like a smorgasbord of shows.
Yep. You're welcome.
Yeah, thanks. Some of these, I'll talk about that.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
But it has been a beautiful week of weather, minus today. It rained literally from sun up to sundown, and it's still sprinkling out right now. So it's been just soggy day, and I've just been cooped up in the house all day today because I can't do anything outside. And but last weekend was so gorgeous. I went on an 8-mile hike in one of our state parks that are near us. And I sent some panoramic pics to the Discord. It was just a great day. Beautiful weather. Probably the most perfect day so far this year. And it's supposed to be even better this weekend. I think it's high 61 tomorrow. It's going to be like in the 70s on Sunday. It's going to be nice. That's Elmer Fudd's weather report. He asked me, he insists on knowing what the weather is. So I give him that information every week.
Yeah, I'm sure he asks.
He does. And he always appreciates it. He always tells me that.
Yeah. Well, just for Elmer, I'm going to say it's ball shriveling cold in Ohio. So
okay, good. All right. Well, we do have a returning guest, so to speak. He's one of the co-hosts of Two Titans and a Hunter podcast, which is, I guess you could say, it's kind of one of our sister podcasts, kind of our sister Discord. We all kind of share the Discords and stuff. But we've talked with him with the other two co-hosts, Night Demon and Respawn. But this is his first solo guest appearance. It's our friend Peroty. How you been, sir?
Oh, not bad at all. It's chilly here. To keep our weather report up to date. You've got the south. Hazel's a little west of me, and here in DC area, it's very cold and clear. So good times.
You're in Washington D.C.
Area? Right about there, Maryland.
Gotcha.
Yeah, just north of DC.
Okay, you're up there with Nosy. Nice. Okay, cool. Good deal. Well, hey, folks, just to preview what we're going to cover tonight. First, we want to hear, how Peroty's been doing since his last visit here. And since this is his first solo appearance on our show, we're going to do like a little mini interview with him as well. Next, Hazel's going to go over the TWAB for this 11th week of Season of the Lost. And next, we're trying out a new segment this week, and we need some feedback from you guys once we post the show this week, and let us know what you think. We've gotten some feedback from other players that have requested some tips to playing Destiny 2. Maybe they're not hardcore daily players like us, or just returning to the game and want like a little refresher course. So we're going to throw that out. We're going to throw out a few Destiny tips tonight. And
or they're like, recurring players that have just
ignored it.
Just want to know more.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly. Well, we'll talk about this.
Yeah.
I got words. Next, of course, we're going to answer questions from our community and add 2 songs each to our award-winning Guardian Downcast show playlist on Spotify and iTunes. All right, guys, let's do this. Hey, thanks for listening to Guardian Downcast. You can find us on Twitter at Guardian_D_cast.
Or, you can find us on Instagram at Guardian_Down_cast and see what pics our weekly guests want to share with you.
Or Hazel, just visit our website at GuardianDowncast.com for all the contact information and where else you want to find us. And you can also play any past episodes you like in any order you like, right from your browser.
Don't you or me, man. Anyway, so hey, Guardians, check us out, and later, Guardians.
Toddles.
Hey, that's my line, man.
So, Peroty, it's been a while, man. I know, from what I can hear from your other 2 co-hosts, you just been busy as hell, man. How you been lately? Everything going okay?
Oh yeah, everything's going well. It's busy. See what you want to do. Some good life advice for me. What you want to do right before, say like March of 2020, you want to go from a government contract IT job where you're not really doing a whole lot. You're supporting WebEx and video teleconferencing and conferences for a federal agency, one that may regulate drugs and food in the U.S. You want to go from that pretty low key job and go into a private sector role as a subject matter expert for WebEx and Zoom for a company that runs large-scale teleconferences and web conferences, and you want to make that move in March of 2020 because you think, this is a good plan. It should be good. I have some ramp-up time to learn my way. And then the entire world turns into Zoom. All of it is Zoom.
That's right.
So, to say nothing, I've been a little busy over the last 2 years, going from, this will be nice, this will be good times. I'll go from, I've worked in WebEx and that realm for the last, 6-8 years now, and learned Zoom along with the rest of the world back March of 2020. So it's just been absolute, just balls to the wall insanity, for lack of a better word. Getting requests of, we need to talk to our 20,000 employees tomorrow, all at once, about what our plan is for COVID. How can we do that? How can we make this happen?
And what is your official title for what you do?
It's changed a little bit. I was a web platform conference administrator, which was a huge mouthful.
That is a mouthful.
Now I'm just a product manager because we sort of have which is giving me a tiny little insight to how software development works. It's a tiny one. Is we have a product that interfaces with WebEx and Zoom sort of and manages all that, which is boring and nobody really cares about that.
Right.
But so basically, like, half of my job now is working with developers, writing tickets for developers saying, hey, I need this button here. I need this to work like this. Mm-hmm. They actually do the coding, and then we do the testing once they've done that coding to say, like, yes, this works how I need it to, or no, it doesn't. So it's given me, again, I am not a developer. I'm not a developer coder. I barely understand how that works, how you can put semicolons and things and make video games happen. But it's given me a tiny little insight into just like the process of development and how that works. And
so you're basically a quality assurance tester. Is that what you kind of do?
More or less. It's a little bit of that, and it's also writing the thing that I want quality assurance tested.
Okay.
Yeah, it sounds like he's more the liaison between a couple companies and things like that.
I see. So, okay.
Yeah, it's sort of a little bit of everything on any given day, but it's basically making WebEx and Zoom and an audio conference platform play with our piece of software and make it all work together.
Yeah, it's kind of what Admiral Nips does. He's probably more hands-on QA, but you sound like you have a little bit more that you're involved
front
in.
end. Yeah, it sounds like he's more front end. Ish.
Makes sense.
Yeah. It's a little bit of everything on any given day, and a little consulting of, hey, someone's trying to do this. How can we make that happen?
Right.
How can we smash these technologies together to give you the thing that you want as a client, where you can hit the button and go, ooh, look pretty. Now I can talk to people.
Yeah, you're like the angel that I have to deal with and go like, hey, or I'm the asshole that you have to deal with. That's like, hey, I want to do this. And you're like, that can't happen. But you know what? I'm not going to tell you that. I'm going to put a nice spin on this and go like, I'm going to try it. I'm going to send it over and see what you can do.
I'm going to absolutely tell you, I will look into that, and I will get back to you by close of business on Tuesday. And we will see what we can do for you. Now, but when you come to me with that question, you need to say, like, I've been tasked with this by my boss, or the CEO called and has given this to me. I don't know what I'm doing, so I've come to you hoping you have a clue what you're doing. That's usually how those things work out.
Yeah, and in my experience, the guy that I talk to, like yourself, goes like, I don't know what I'm doing either, but I'm going to relay it to somebody who does know, hopefully.
Mm-hmm. Eventually, we will find the man behind the curtain that makes all of this work, who controls the vertical and the horizontal, who can make all of our dreams come true.
Kick that can down the road. Got you.
That's awesome. So any tips for me to get that shit done, or anybody out there who deals with somebody like yourself and tries to, I always go with the, like, sugar draws more flies than honey draws more flies than vinegar. So I'm always like super nice to you guys and women that I talk to.
Bribery through baked goods will get you everywhere. Don't let anybody tell you that it won't. And I mean, honestly, they're like, at the end of the day, like, just have a clue what you want. Like, know what you want, because for the most part, we can do things, we can make things happen, but you need to know what you want to happen. Half of my job before this one was a lot of it going, okay, here's what you're asking me for. What I think you're trying to get is this. Is this what you want? Oh, yeah, that's what we wanted. If you could have just told me that, it would have been so much easier. Yeah, try to have the clue on what you're trying to do before we try to do it. It'll go smoother. But that's also honestly just part of the process. It's just going back and forth and going, here's what I need. I like it a lot too. I used to walk into Radio Shack to date myself, Radio Shacks when those were things, and say, no, I'm looking for this adapter. I'm not sure if this exists because I'm not sure if you can make this plug go into this plug, but here's what I'm trying to do. That's how a lot of my conversation would start is, we're trying to do this. We're not sure if it's possible. Well, I can tell you how close to possible we can get and take it from there.
Makes sense. Yeah, makes sense.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Like I said, baked goods get you everywhere.
I will DoorDash something to the guy that I talked to with a certain company. And
bribery with cookies goes a long way.
How did they get the cookies to you? Never mind. I went over my head. Sorry. Go ahead.
DoorDash is a thing, man.
Oh, that's right.
They may not have it in Florida because it's Florida.
No, they got them here. Trust me.
There was this time back. I think we called it like the mid 2010s where there were these big buildings we all used to go and work in at the same place. I hear that that's how you could get goods and services to people like in person. I've heard the story of this. It's been very weird, but I believe that's the thing you used to be able to do. I've heard that, the ancient lore of these places existing. What's
funny is I keep thinking of DoorDash. I keep thinking of people ordering stuff from restaurants and getting it delivered to them. I never thought about person-to-person sends. I never thought they could do that. I thought it was tied in with I don't use it, so.
Yeah. I used to do that with my old team. I would be off on a day and I would send in donuts.
No shit.
To work.
Wow.
And be like, I can't be there, but here, enjoy.
Okay. DoorDash got a little more value in my eyes now. Good.
Yeah. You can send it to your clients.
Wow. Okay.
Look at this guy.
Good to know.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm still in 2010.
Get here. It's also just as fun. You could call a place and order pizza and have it show up at your friend's house, and then a free pizza just arrives at their doorstep, and they're just delighted because who doesn't love a free pizza?
Oh, yeah, I heard you are going to do that with Respawn, right?
Mm-hmm. They should be on their way. Let's see. Luna should be picking them up at the front door right about.
That would be glorious.
Isn't that crazy how we can track it on our phone now? It's so crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm watching Gator right now. It works out great. Hope you enjoyed those donuts I sent and that didn't have the cameras in them.
What donuts?
Exactly.
Well, we found out where you live. We know where you're from, what you do for a living now. How are you enjoying Destiny right now? Or are you playing Destiny? I'm just curious.
Sorry, just let me know that we found out where you live. We have agents outside the house.
That sounded terrible.
Come out with your hands up.
That sounded like a SWAT. I'm sorry.
Surrender the exotics immediately.
See, Hazel knows I'm terrible at transitions. So
that was pretty bad.
Actually, that was.
I was gonna take it and run with it, but
that was
went that way, and I'm like, oh, okay, we're doing that.
Yeah, I give it a 3 out of 10.
Master of smooth there.
So you know what? Let me try this again. Hey, Peroty, are you playing Destiny right now? If you are you enjoying it, or something you're pet peeved about, or pet peeved about? Jeez. Words
We're
are hard.
leaving all of this in. This is going to be
words are so hard.
Quality content.
Mm-hmm. This is the best. I mean,
this will be up to the editor's discretion.
Semi-professional bullshit. There we go.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. In the best of times.
Oh,
so yeah, Destiny. I'm sort of living like a dual gaming lifestyle. Most of it is if I have time, I'm playing Destiny. I'm going to turn it on. It's just sort of the game. The game I've committed myself to. I spend all the money. I buy all the things. I play all the Destiny. Because I can just turn it on, like this week is Iron Banner. I can turn it on and play Iron Banner for an hour or 10 minutes or whatever, and it's just what I'm going to go do. I don't have to think about what am I going to play or where was I on some quest, something. It's like, no, jump in, go murder some people, go run 3 of something for a pinnacle drop. It's, turn on the Xbox, go play Destiny. It makes me happy. Half the time I'm doing it, I'm listening to other podcasts or audiobooks because for the most part, I don't need the sound. The story I pretty much listen to and watch exclusively through YouTube clips.
That's what I do. That's what I do too.
Those roundups of like, hey, here's all the videos you missed. I'm like, because one, I'll be honest, I'm not sitting through those cutscenes listening to you. I probably don't have the sound up anyway.
Yeah, it's funny. I do the same thing. I catch up on all my Destiny and Battlefield YouTube videos that I've had stocked up. That I'm like, oh, that's a great video. Save it for later, and then I'll just play them in like a big queue, and I'll play Crucible while doing that because I don't need the music. I don't need the sound. Yeah, you do it the same way I do. That's cool.
Oh, yeah. Crucible, Gambit, heck, if I have to run strikes, God help me for some reason and grind through those stupid things.
Yeah, but you definitely don't need sound for strikes. That's like...
No, or visuals, or really to pay attention to what you're doing. Just let that blueberry race through and get to the end in 10 minutes and go, okay, I'll wait here. Just pull me through. I'm good. I don't need any skills. I'm just here for the 3 of them and I'm out.
Exactly.
That's Gator's favorite thing.
It is. I'm like, go, go, go. I'm like, I'll be back here jogging slowly.
Yeah. If I never have to run another strike or lost sector, I'll be a happy man. I can't care about them.
Whoa. I draw the line on lost sectors are pretty nice to farm.
That's how he gets his bounties done.
Bounties and glimmer. Dude, you get like 3,000 glimmer every time you do a
Have you ever listened to the show before?
There's a horde mode. It's called Gambit. You run in there and you shoot people with guns and you get bounties, win, lose, or draw, and nobody cares. It's just here to farm people. That's where you can murder anything. What are you trying to murder? Just wait. Yeah. You'll have plenty of them at your fingertips.
But here's a tip, since we're on tips tonight. You can run the lost sector underneath the church in the not the Cosmodrome, but the EDZ, thank you. And there's one right below the church. You can get done in like 2 minutes and get 3,000 glimmer. If you need glimmer, and now they cap it. It is on a timer. But if you can run 2 back to back, you'll get 6,000 glimmer just like that. And then go jump over to, the easy one in the middle of, why are words hard tonight? Nessus. And go to the one right there in the center where you fall off the big cliff.
You're telling me Nessus exists in the game still?
Yeah, it's still there.
Nessus is still there?
Yeah.
Wow, I can't remember the last time I visited Nessus. Good to know it's still there.
Really? Zur was there a few times the last few weeks. Oh, never mind. I don't want to get into that.
I think his ass is still there, actually, according to some people.
Yeah, he might be there this week. I don't know. Fallout tells me in a minute or less whether it's worth visiting Zur, and for the most part, no. So,
yeah.
Oh, shit. Yeah, I need to pick up the Shinobu's Vow this week. Yes, PSA. Pick up Shinobu's Vow. He's in the EDZ.
As they listen to this on Monday, right before reset.
Oh,
that's true. That's true. They got the whole day.
Just do what we do. Say, if you hear this by then, great. If not, you missed out. That's on you.
Yeah. And we love you anyway. So, yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
Well, speaking of Destiny, how did you find this game, Peroty?
I found this game, and this is where I'm going to absolutely credit / blame Panoramix 18, my buddy I've known in real life for a million years now. Mm-hmm. We have spent so many hours in Halo, driving each other off of cliffs, in Warthogs, playing. I can't tell you how many times we've played through the various Halo campaigns, 3, 4, Reach, and just the PvP there, running around a big team battle being like, we're going to drive through your team. We don't care. We're just here to have fun. I'm going to guess that he was the reason for this, because I actually went back and looked at my Twitter archive and found a tweet from September 12th, 2014, just saying, the only reason I got out of bed today was to walk to Redbox and rent Destiny for the weekend. So clearly, I'm guessing he peer pressured me into going and trying this game out. Hey, it's a new thing from Bungie. I don't know if that was the first time I had played it. I do remember, not being, day one, alpha, beta, blah, 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 but saying, hey, it's a Bungie thing. It's in space. It looks like fun. I should try this out.
Right.
Well, hey, just a quick question for you so I can chime in so Gator doesn't hog all the questions here.
What am I not
hogging? Out of curiosity, what was one of your earliest gaming memories?
Not choking on the water I'm trying to drink, for one.
Nice.
Let's try this again.
That's a pro.
Don't worry, I'll edit that out. I'm a pro.
No, keep it in. There's no editing. It's all straight to tape, right? None of this.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's earliest game memory. I've actually been on a hunt for this game because how you remember something that's just very faint in your memory, but you're like, I don't know what this was called. This is a game from a million years ago. Mm-hmm. So my dad had an old K-Pro computer, Kaypro.
Wow, really?
Big, giant, hulking thing. It was a quote-unquote portable. It was basically a briefcase would be too small, like a suitcase size thing you'd sit on the desk. It had 2 latches where you'd pull the keyboard down. It had a little, 4-inch monitor or something, and then 2 5-inch floppy disk drives next to it. It didn't have a hard drive that I remember. It had 2 5-inch floppy disk drives.
Oh my God.
One you'd load your operating system into, some version of DOS or something like that.
Right.
And then you could load in your word processor, your game, or whatever. So I think this game was called Ladder, because I've been trying to find it and use my very, very hazy memory. where basically the floors and ladders are made of equal signs. The ladders themselves were capital H's. The lad, who is basically the player you were controlling, was a letter P or Q if you were like big or small. And then the treasure was a $sign, and there were ampersands that would come out and try to get you. And then rocks that would fall that were little O's. So basically, this is like a Donkey Kong, I would say clone, but I think it was probably the other way around. This predated Donkey Kong.
Right.
But it was one of those, like, you would try to make your way up these ladders and get to the top of the level and then progress from there. So I think that was it. But it's, I mean, very much, green text on a black screen. And
dude, I remember those games.
God, I mean, it was... I don't remember what year this was. Probably mid '80s somewhere where I was playing this. Because I think at least according to Wikipedia, this came out in like '82 or something, where I would have been 1. So probably not quite that early, but somewhere in the mid '80s where when my dad had this portable computer.
I was using the TRS-80 in 1980. 83, I think. It was my first computer class. I took it in junior high. Yeah, man, I remember those games though. When they didn't have pixels, you had to use what was on the system. You had to use the keyboard symbols, Dude, I so remember those.
Whatever
games.
Was there that's what you got.
That's amazing, dude. That really goes back. That's real early.
That's it. That's what I've been trying to find, because it's like I have this memory of like I was a character and there was some other characters. Yeah, again, it was all keyboard stuff. I'll put it in the chat we've got here just so you can sort of see what. Yeah, the beautiful graphics of my poor memory. So there's that,
wow.
and then I played a game called, I think it was called Aliens. Again, I basically went Wikipedia trolling, trying to figure out what these were. A game called Aliens, which is more or less Space Invaders, except you had basically there was like like characters between you and the aliens that they would shoot down at you, and you'd move along the bottom of the screen shooting up, but there was little bases you could hide in, ways to be safe a little bit.
Wow, so, it's another K-Pro game. Nice.
Yeah. I mean, very, very much early. My dad ran a print shop in the DC area for years, so he had some computers and stuff like that around the house that I had access to. So yeah, real early. Again, your Matrix-esque, green text on a black screen.
I remember those.
There was no graphic. There was no GUI. That was all. Yeah. You put in a floppy disk for your OS and a floppy disk for the thing you wanted to run, and if you wanted to type up open a word text editor, pull out the one disk, put that disk in, load that up.
I remember the, what was it, 5.5 floppies?
Mm-hmm.
Gosh, I remember those.
Floppies were actually floppy.
And then it went to 3s, 3.5s or 3s or something. And God almighty, man, it's dude, you were right there from the beginning. Wow.
And now it's trying to explain to kids, what's that icon on the computer would mean? Yeah, that's a floppy disk. What's a flop?
Yeah, that doesn't carry over very well.
Yeah, not so much. Yeah, so it's been a little while, but then after that we had an Atari 2600, so I played the infamous ET game, and we had a babysitter at one point whose younger brother or older brother went to college and was like, here, he doesn't want his Atari anymore, so we got like this like huge box of Atari 2600 games. I don't even know what all there were, but it was probably 30 or 40 games. Just like, hey, here's my stash of games. Go enjoy yourself.
I think everyone who had an Atari had 2 shoe boxes, like Nike shoe boxes, full of just fully, full, like a little library, like a little makeshift library. I remember those days. Yeah, dude.
Pretty much.
That brings me back. I forgot all about these green text screen games. I forgot all about those. Wow.
Really dates us.
That's okay. Yeah. I'm all right with that.
Yeah. I remember playing, what was the one? Oregon Trail, obviously.
Oh, of course.
Sure.
I was at school.
That's my wife's game. Yeah.
What was the other one? The one where you were like the fish or something like that, and you could pick like if you wanted to eat something or not, or get eaten.
It was like an either or game, right?
Was it Number Munchers? Was it a math one?
Yeah, it was like
I remember that. I remember that one. But no, there was one. It was like you're a fish, and it was like there's an osprey coming. Do you want to eat it?
Oh man, old time.
Yeah, I don't know. Number Munchers. I remember that we had a game called Jenny's Journeys, which for some reason consisted of like driving around this town doing errands, and I have no idea what the point, like what it was trying to teach us at that point was, but. It was like, go to the store and do this. Now come home. Now go over here and do this. I'm like, what are we trying to learn? But
we're
working without dying.
We're in such a unique position that we actually saw it from the start. Most of us here can say they've seen video games since it started. I mean, yeah, Hazel too. I'm not.
What the hell?
I'm guessing. I'm
the same age as Peroty.
Okay, that's what. I didn't know. I didn't want to call Peroty's age out. All right, so you're in the fourth.
Sir, if you have people on the show, you need to listen to what they say.
I know. I probably was looking. I'll tell you, I was probably reading ahead on something. I missed that point you made, but
yeah. Remember what I said in the beginning about when the guest is on and paying attention?
Oh, that part. Oh yeah,
that was kind of a thing,
Oh, that's the show, not.
Well, okay. Since we're talking games here. Hazel brought this up a long time ago. Why game, man? What is it about video gaming that you enjoy, or why you've kept doing it to this day?
It's really just a way. Part of it is just pure escapism and a way to turn my brain off. Mm-hmm. And I can go sit down and I can go play a thing where obviously I'm not running. I'm not a man who came from the moon. I'm not running around, with fully automatic weapons gunning down aliens. It's just a nice way to turn my brain off and just hang out with friends. Like it was always very social for me too.
Right.
Like I had a friend who we would get together and we would play Serious Sam. If you've never played Serious Sam, there's a premise and a story, sort of. It's basically aliens have come to Earth. They've taken over. Go murder all of them. It's basically a big open world shooter where it's just like if the whole world was just a horde mode and you're just running through gunning down aliens. We would get together and just play that for hours and laugh our heads off because you would just die and respawn. There's no stakes. It was never about the competition unless we're playing Mario Kart, in which case that's deadly competition.
Mm-hmm.
But really it was just fun. Just hanging out. Like my brother and I have a younger brother who we would play NBA Jam on the Super Nintendo obsessively to the point where we were keeping records and keeping score and recording our biggest blowouts, or if we could hold, the CPU scoreless in a game or hold them to 2 points or something.
How many of those
just play that over and over again to learn every last little bit and piece of that game.
How many of those little mini spiral notebooks do you have? I got a ton of them too.
Oh yeah.
Didn't matter what game.
They've all been lost to time at this point, but no, we had, I think we had the black and white composition notebooks. We just had those. We would just fill with page after page after page, and we would also play. Which Final Fantasy was? I think it was Final Fantasy 3. And I'm not getting into in Japan it's this, in the US it's this. Thing on the cartridge said 3, so it's 3. Fight me, don't care, not invested in this.
Desiree.
We would play 3. We would play Chrono Cross, Chrono Trigger.
Okay,
and that would part of be we'd use those notebooks to go. Okay, where did we leave off? What quest were we trying to do?
Because that's what you had to do.
We have to talk to.
That's what you had to do back then.
There was no finding that. I mean, there was maybe game facts where you could maybe find someone who walked you through the steps of the quest, in text. They say, talk to this guy, go here.
Well,
go to the second house on the right, on the third town over, and
just go to YouTube. You just go to YouTube back then. Wait,
right?
There wasn't a YouTube.
I wish.
Kids have it so easy these days. Jeez, I'm talking like a boomer. Okay.
Yeah. Back in my day, we had to go buy the Prima book, the Prima.
That's right, we did. At least I did.
I didn't. I went and I looked at them.
Yeah, you stole the knowledge from the library. No, that was Nolsey.
No, that was Nolsey. I didn't even pay for the knowledge.
He would hide behind the games at the store and read it. Oh, you don't. Nice. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
What's wrong with that?
Nothing.
Not seeing a problem.
You're probably the smarter one of the two. That's for sure. Let's see. What else we want to ask him here, Hazel? Let's see.
All right. So we hit you with the why game. Uh-huh. So let's see here.
We can move around. We don't have to go.
I was going to say we can go to signature questions and
absolutely wherever you want to go, man. Wherever you want to go.
Yeah. So, well, okay. I'm gonna steal his question. Actually,
what?
Yeah. So, Peroty.
Mm-hmm.
What's up with the gamer tag, dude?
No, that's my line. Damn it.
Was he super proud of that one and was really curious about it and was all excited to ask it? Now you've just ruined his entire night.
It's okay.
Because if so, well done, sir.
I'm all right.
Well, I was curious about it.
So I've always really enjoyed, like, I have this thing about like tags. I and again, this sort of, talking about our origins on all this computing and technology. I had this thought when I was creating sort of like an identity for myself online. Like, it was never like, oh, this is my like, super secret online identity, but it was like, I sort of want, and just sort of a static identity to use online. And I didn't want it to be, whatever 669 or 2773. I didn't want numbers in it. I didn't want it to be just like some random throwaway thing that I look back on and be like, this is dumb. So this goes all the way back to 7th grade when we were writing poetry in some English class. And I wrote the letters of poetry out with P on one line, O below that, E, poetry, but like alternating lines.
Mm-hmm.
And then right across it was Peroty. And I was like, kind of like the sound of that. It sort of sounds like parody, like the word parody as like a parody of myself.
Yes.
And I was like, I kind of dig that. And more importantly, it was available. It didn't seem to be a word, at least not in the English language. It wasn't used everywhere. So I was like, I'm just going to grab that and I'm going to take that and just start using that everywhere. So that's just sort of become the name I've used. And I'll say more or less that's where I am everywhere, unless I've had an account and for whatever reason deleted it or lost it or whatever and used my real name or something. But no, that's just sort of who I became online. And it's short. It doesn't take a lot of, I'd say it doesn't take a lot to spell. It's really funny subscribing to people and them going, thanks, Peroty, Poultry, whatever your name is. Which I also enjoy that part of it too.
I have to admit, I used a D at first when putting the title together. I was like, whoa, wait a minute, that's a T. Gotcha.
Either way.
Because parody sound, that's how when people say it's parody. And I always keep thinking there's a D there, but it's actually a T. Yeah.
Which is way more fun.
Well, we know you, of course, as the knowledgeable host on Two Titans and a Hunter. How did you meet Night Demon?
Do they have any other hosts?
No, I don't think so.
I'm not really sure any of us are knowledgeable. Literate, absolutely not.
Well,
I'm not sure I go as far as knowledgeable. I'd say I'm able to read and I can speak sometimes in full sentences. This is Night Demon is absolutely the brains behind this operation.
Yes,
but yeah, this is very much this sort of goes back to how did I meet them, or how did we start the podcast?
Well, yeah, a little bit of both. How did you? Night Demon and Respawn are your co-host, and no disrespect to them, they all have their part they play in the podcast. They do it very well.
They've had their day in the sun. Night Demon was here in episode 94. Respawn was here in 97. You even had Not for all of them in episode 83.
Screw those guys. Yeah,
they've had their day in the sun. See, I get the benefit of hindsight. I get the benefit of hindsight. I can now make fun of them because they've already gone first.
Yeah,
and now
right.
I get to I'm the third contestant on the game show, seeing how everyone else screwed up the game show. Now I can win.
That's right. So
speed run.
I'll leave you the floor then. And this is you're the third one around, and that was not by choice, by the way. You were just so damn busy. It was just hard to get you to be able to get on the show. But we talked about it. Why? But
you have to play hard to get.
It worked. I was smitten. So Two Titans and a Hunter, Night Demon and Respawn are your other co-hosts on the show. How did all this begin, man?
This really has its origins in sort of how we were running the clan at the time. Is the Frozen Clan, again, my buddy Panoramix18 started. Mm-hmm. And also, pro tip, if you have a buddy who runs a clan, don't go on vacation, because you may be in your car like 2 hours out of the house on like a week-long vacation, and the Bungie app may pop up and go, hey, you're the clan founder now. Congratulations. And you go, what? I'm sorry, what now? Where he was at a point where he was just too busy and going, I need one thing that I don't need to manage. It's your problem now. You enjoy that. Wow. So part of all that is we're using an app called Band, B-A-N-D.
I'm familiar with it.
This was sort of, I don't even think it was pre-Discord. It's when you have the silly British man setting up things, he comes across things in Band, which is where we ended up, which has like some Destiny. I think like My Name is Bife or some of those guys or Dado have like communities over there. Like I've never really joined them. I never really used it for more than just our clan, but It was just sort of a non-Discord entity of a way to go. In theory, if we were organized, like do calendars and plan raids and whatever, but it was just a place to talk and hang out and share things.
Right.
So from that, Night Demon sort of set up just a place to say, I mean, he would just do what he does now and watches videos and finds things and hangs out in Discord and just hoovers up all the information. He's just a vacuum cleaner for Destiny knowledge, and just grabs it all up and says, I need to do something with this. I need to share it with somebody somehow. So he would put things in there. I'd toss a video in every now and again. Other people would, as we'd come across things, just, hey, this is a cool build. This is a neat thing. Hey, this thing is totally broken in the game right now. And from there, it was just sort of a, hey, we're doing this in our clan, which is cool to get those, 100 or so people this information. Wouldn't it be nice to do that for more people? So I don't remember when he started talking about it or when this came into his brain, because he's also the one idea the audio editing background and has some clue how to make audio sound halfway decent and not make us sound like complete morons that we are that can't read through a full sentence without stumbling over ourselves. So he's like, hey, you want to do a podcast? This could be fun. I feel like we had sort of had like random little conversations about it, like, hey, is this, sort of like feeling you out, like, hey, is this a thing you might be into? This could be interesting. And I guess he had those similar conversations with Respawn going, hey, this could be fun, this could be interesting. He's certainly color and texture and flavor. So, and just I think it was sort of like people he could talk at length with and would have either differing opinions or at least have an opinion and be able to discuss it.
Right.
So it just sort of got off the ground from there, and we said, we don't know what we're doing. We'll hope for the best. I had been on a guest on a couple of shows here and there just randomly over the past few years. So like I had a decent microphone and headphones, and said, let's just try this and see what happens. I mean, God knows there's enough information out there on how to make a podcast. So
yeah, there is.
In the midst of 2019, we said, let's sit down and just see what happens. And here we are, 140 something episodes later.
Yeah, you guys are a little bit ahead of us. So is the and then just slightly right after that is when the Guardian Hub started up, and then a little after that is when we started up. So I kind of consider us like fellow podcasts, because we're all kind of in the same time involved in it, give or take.
Yeah. So we told two friends, and you told two friends, then they tell two friends.
Exactly. That's how it starts. But
I mean, there's a joke around there somewhere with, what do you call a group of white men? A podcast. So I mean, you're not wrong.
Victory is what I call that joke right there, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes. How long you talked about how Night Demon was like a sponge. How long do you think it takes to prep for a podcast every week? I know Night Demon does a lot of it, but you're in there. You're in the midst of it. You know what's going on. How long do you think it takes to get one planned for a week?
I think, that really sort of goes, all over the place. Because I know for me personally, some of it just depends on how, what kind of week I've had. Because some days I remember Destiny exists when I get notified, hey, the TWAB is out. I go, oh, right. I have to talk about this in a few days. I should figure out what Destiny did this week.
Yeah.
On those weeks, it's really, I just sort of show up Saturday morning and go, hey, I'm here. I've sort of read this and have a vague clue what we're doing. Let's get into this and see where it takes us. I also have the benefit of knowing my other co-host has done no research and has no clue what's coming. So while he's figuring that out, I can also be reading going, okay, what did they talk about here? What are we doing? Other weeks, I'll try to, it's probably, it depends on, again, it depends on how many notes I want to make for myself. Because sometimes I play Destiny from, I'm never sure the best way to describe it, like not like a casual perspective, but like I don't really get into it. I don't remember. Like I still have to look at what perks are half the time. I'm like, I don't remember. This perk has been here since day one. I don't remember what it does. I don't remember if it's any good on a hand cannon or if I should use it on this pulse rifle.
Right.
So sometimes I'll sort of play the role for my own self of just going, I'm kind of the dumb guy going, and what is this again? And how do you explain this? And Night Demon's good too about, when we start talking about something, it's like, okay, what is that? Remind people what this thing is we're talking about, then, give our opinion on it or talk about it in depth. So I think it's, it really is. I think like these past couple of weeks, it's probably maybe 2 or 3 hours of notes where I'll read the TWAB, and I think part of it's my focus on what I do for work. A lot of it is reading release notes, reading what's changed in the applications, reading stuff like that. So I sort of tend to gravitate towards some of that too. So it's just sort of trying to say, hey, what have we covered? What have we not covered? Right. If there's if they talk about a particular armor piece or a particular perk, I'll try to look it up and and remember, or at least make myself a note of what is this? What does this thing do? If this Triumph is broken, try to look up and say, what is this Triumph? Not just the Drifter likes eggs on Tuesday Triumph. Well, what is that thing that's actually broken that you're trying to get done?
Right. You guys are very informational. I mean,
yeah. I mean, it sort of depends on the week too. If it's a real light TWAB, it'll be like, hey, I've read this over and, looked at it for 20 minutes. Or if it's, hey, we've got numbers and breakdowns and this and that, or God help us, the beginning of a season, then it's probably 5 or 6 hours of just like looking things over and just sometimes just making notes for myself. Because the way Bungie writes things, sometimes it's like, I've understood all the words you used, but I don't know what you're trying to tell me. So some of it's just like rewriting their notes in words I can understand so that I can talk about it later in the week.
Makes sense.
That is true.
Well, you're going to see Hazel's research skills tonight when he reads the TWAB. So,
Hazel's TWABs are my favorite. They fixed some things, they broke some things, and here's your thing this week. On to the next thing.
He does listen.
Sir, you have this figured out, my friend. You've got this all down to an art.
He's smarter than all of us. We just don't know it yet.
Gift. It's a gift. He
just synthesizes the information.
Yeah.
Synthesizes the information and gives it to you. And there you go. You're done.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I know a lot of people come to your podcast to find out exactly what's going on, and including myself. And it's nice to know, oh, damn, I didn't know that. Okay. Good to know. I learn something every week. You guys throw something out. So good on you guys. Yeah.
The downside of that is then people come to you later in the week and go, you were on a podcast. I go, yeah, I read it on Saturday. Doesn't mean I remember it on Tuesday. Come on now.
What was that part again about?
It's very much like in school. You'd study for the test. You knew all the material.
Exactly.
2 days later, you don't remember what you were
any person who's gone to any person who's gone to college and crammed for tests like I did, you don't remember anything that next day.
And of course, I said it. 19 will tell me all the time. He's like, "You're on a podcast. We talked about this." I'm like, "You talked about it. I may have said the words, but you remember it. I don't."
All right, Hazel. I want to wrap up a little bit here, but any other questions you had for him before we move on to our final signatures?
Why don't we just wrap up with 2 of our signature questions?
Well,
there?
you stole one of mine already.
You're welcome. So do you have a motto or mantra that you live by? Or a couple of them?
Not really. I realize this as I get older. I tend to sort of adopt the speech of whoever I'm around, like whoever I'm talking to the most, whether it's somebody at work, somebody I'm gaming with. I just sort of tend to adopt some of their mannerisms and some of their sayings.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, I don't really have anything.
Respawn? Do you talk like Respawn, or do you talk like Night Demon?
Probably Respawn more. I definitely adopt some of his, like, why live in a world of war. I was using that for a while, and he's like, oh, is this or this? Why live in a world of war? Do both.
That makes sense.
And just keep peeking is always a good one. Whenever you get that sweet business spun up. Bungie, I think Destiny Tracker posted a video earlier this week of someone just mowing people down. So no, just keep peeking.
Is he done yet?
That's always a good go-to.
Is he out of ammo yet? Nope.
Can never be out of ammo.
Never.
Those are so infuriating to play against.
That doesn't even exist. Ammo? What is that?
I know. What's the vest called? I can't remember.
I guess the motto I do keep coming back to is just, stop running or keep running. You'll just die tired.
The Actium War Rig is what you're thinking of.
That's it. Yep. Mm-hmm. I've used this setup before on an auto rifle, not a spin-up weapon, but anyway.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'd say it almost doesn't matter, but if you can find the right map and the right group, they're just lemmings to the edge, going, what is that? Oh no, death, my friend, is what that is.
Yeah, stay away.
I think we found the title. Okay, I'll wrap it up, I guess. I have a podcast question because, we have a lot of people listen to the show. We've even had people who are listeners who have their own podcast, and
really
there's several out there who have started their own podcast. But I guess what I want to ask you here before we go on to our last question is, what advice would you give someone today who's at least thinking about creating a podcast, whether it's Destiny or whatever their passion is? Because when we've all done this a while. What insight do you have that maybe is not as obvious as people would think?
I mean, I think part of it is if it's I mean, again, sort of, figure out what you want to do. If it's you wanting to talk or something, like, if you're like, hey, again, just using Destiny as an example. If you're like, hey, I really love the lore. I just want to record myself reading lore and put it out there.
Okay.
Just do it. Just start it. I know if you're anything like me, I tend to get wrapped up in the long game of if I start something, I go, well, in 2 years, am I going to want to keep doing this? What do I need to think about? Six moves down the road. It's like, no, just do it. Just start it. If you have anything you can record audio into, I mean, honestly, you have a smartphone. Android and iOS both have, or iPads, have some sort of audio recording app. Just start doing it. Just, get into the habit of making the thing. It's so easy to get wrapped up in, I need to buy this. I need to get a microphone, or which microphone do I get? I need to research it. This guy says this. I mean, no two people are going to agree on anything about anything in terms of how to do anything in the world when you get into researching on the internet. So if it's something you're interested in, just start doing it. Just get in the habit of making that thing, because it doesn't matter. Like our first couple shows are rough and our audio is bad and we're on Skype and we've lost, entire like interviews with people. Poor Frosty came on and it was like, hi, I'm Frosty. And then Skype was just like, no, I'm going to drop all this audio out. Like, just keep at it. Just keep doing it. Like, don't get wrapped up in like the technology of it all. Or maybe it's just my tech background speaking. I always want to know, what mic are you using? How are you doing this? I mean, honestly, our show is a USB microphone and Discord and a free bot. Like some people's shows, they use like Anchor FM or they just record into their notes app. I mean, the technology today is there. Just start doing the thing. If you're interested, just start doing it. And if you enjoy making the thing, that you'll eventually go, hey, I'm really enjoying this. Let me spend some money on it. Let me devote it to, hey, Christmas is coming, Black Friday is coming. Whatever it happens to be, let me at that point make a small investment into this. And it doesn't have to be expensive. It doesn't have to be top of the line, perfect audio quality. Your editing doesn't have to be pristine. Just do it. Just make the thing.
Yeah.
And if you enjoy it, other people will enjoy it. And that'll give you the motivation and the desire to keep going.
Good advice.
I
agree. Good advice. Okay. I'll take us out here. And this is, of course, my favorite question of all the interviews we do. What is one thing about you that maybe our community might not know about you, Peroty?
That's always a really hard question.
It's purposely that way because it could be big or small. It could be anything you want to divulge. And remember, you're under oath.
Absolutely. Well, I know. I mean, the SWAT team's outside. The helicopter's bring up ahead. I mean, I've been listening to it the whole time we're recording. I'm surprised you can't hear it through the microphone.
That's actually just respawn. But
6 1 half dozen the other, same thing. I sat here and I did my homework and I looked a bunch, sort of thinking about some of these answers. Of course, did I think of an answer for that one? Absolutely not.
That's why I made it lighter colored so you notice it.
Right. I even made it a colors you could ignore and go.
Yes, I know.
I think. Okay. Here's one. We'll dig deep into the gaming lore for. There was a time on the Xbox 360. There was a game called Saints Row. The original Saints Row had an online component. One of the game modes was it was Bling That Ride or Bling My Ride, Pimp My Ride. I can't think of what it was actually called at the moment. Whereas basically, like you would go out with your gang, you'd go and you'd complete objectives, and then I think go blow up your other team's car, and then drive your car to a certain location at the top of a parking deck, and then basically defend it for an amount of time from the other team, and then you would win that round. There was a time post-college where I was playing that game so much, I was actually ranked in the top 6 or the top 10, of whatever leaderboard Saints Row was using at the time for that.
Right.
And that's my, only minor random claim to fame, but just I'd sometimes get really obsessive about the things I play and go, it's a stupid, weird thing to do, but I'm going to learn exactly how this stupid land yacht curves and the absolute boat graphics and physics of trying to drive this stupid car around these turns. But I was just that I played that with a group of people just forever, all day, every day. I would come home from work, play that until I fell asleep, basically.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Well, hey,
that was a great game.
That was. I remember that game when it first came out. Yeah. It's had a few games after that, too.
Yeah, and a remake coming out.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Are they? Yeah.
Don't tell Peroty that.
Especially since they cracked down and fight it. I'm we're not superheroes. No. I mean, it was always sort of the GTA parody,
Yeah.
for lack of a better word.
Yeah, it kind of was.
But yeah, it got too far afield from what it used to be. Poor Santro.
Oh, well.
You mean you can go to hell and fight your way back? And,
Right? Giant dildo bat? I mean, come on, what's not to love?
Exactly. I've always wanted to smack somebody with a giant dildo.
Thank you. Thank you for that sound clip.
You're welcome.
Hey, Hazel's just throwing them out there for me now. I love it. We got, the urine's coming. We got some good sound clips coming up. I can't wait to add those in there.
Doing my part.
Thanks, man. Hey, Peroty. Thanks for sharing your life with us, brother. I appreciate your time with us on that.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's always good times.
Yeah. And I don't think you've run our speed run for this year yet. So
Yeah, no, I think it was all last year when I was here last. I think it was a while. Like episode, I think 40 and 41 was our big massive extravaganza.
Yes.
That no one will ever do again. You go, this was a terrible idea. And
I had to edit all that, by the way. Never again.
I know you did. You and 90 were fighting over who didn't have to deal with it.
90 was like, it's your idea, bro. Go for it. I'm like, oh, what did I do? Anyway, we're going to do the speed run right after this.
Call the Praxic Order, call the Thanatonauts, the Jinsen Scribes, call everyone so they can witness you.
All right, listeners, this segment's called the Speed Run. So we'll have a database of over 250 randomly asked questions, and Peroty tonight is going to have 90 seconds to answer as many as he can. These are short 1 or 2 word answers, and at the end of the year, the guest with the most answer will win a prize and title of 2021 Speedrun Champion. And they'll get that awesome t-shirt as well. The questions are randomly asked. No one can memorize the order, and just answer quickly what comes to mind. Tonight, I'm going to ask the questions randomly from our giant list of questions, and Hazel is our timekeeper and quality control expert. In the event of a questionable answer, Hazel gives us the number. What he says goes. So, Startian and Admiral Nips are our current leaders at 39 questions answered. So you ready to do this?
It's manageable. It's doable. You got this.
It's doable. It definitely is doable. You can probably at least get a podium finish. We'll see. I don't put too much pressure on you. All right, Hazel, get the clock ready?
Yep.
Let's do this. 3, 2, 1. Warlock, Titan, or Hunter?
Titan.
If you could live in any decade, which would it be?
80s.
Void, Solar, Arc, or Stasis?
Stasis.
What's the worst job you've ever had?
PC repair.
What one material item would you take out of your house if it was on fire?
PC.
Cars or trucks?
Trucks.
Should there be freelance solo strikes?
Yes.
Favorite armor shader color?
Dusk and Dawn.
T-spawn or respawn?
T-spawn.
If you could choose, who would voice your ghost?
That's a great question, and that's where I'm going to get stuck on.
Human, Awoken, or Exo?
Exo.
What's the best sandwich?
Steak and cheese.
Roller coaster or carousel?
Roller coaster.
What's your favorite dinosaur?
T-Rex.
What's your favorite Destiny planet?
Nessus.
Audiobook or physical book?
Audiobook.
Is pumpkin spice a real coffee flavor?
Yes.
Hive, Taken, or Scorn?
Scorn.
Would you rather travel the world on a tight budget or live in one country in luxury?
Luxury.
Most used app on your phone?
TikTok.
Ikora, Kate, or Zavala?
Zavala.
Apples or oranges?
Apples.
What number am I thinking of?
32.
Are beers seasonal?
Yes.
Apple or Android?
Android.
DC or Marvel?
DC.
First gaming console?
K-Pro.
Dogs or cats?
Cats.
Favorite salty snack?
Chips.
Paper or plastic?
Paper.
Orbs of light or darkness?
Or light.
Analog or digital?
Digital.
Electric or acoustic guitar?
Electric.
Oh man, you did well. You did well.
Shit.
I just took your response on that one question as an answer. I know.
Same.
Who would? No, you know what though? Who would voice your ghost? Who would you want to voice your ghost?
I think it has to be Peter Dinklage. Peter Dinklage.
Yeah, we've had that answer before.
See, that's my answer too.
That's where I just go. My brain goes. Actors and actresses exist in the world, and I can't come up with a single one of them. My brain just goes empty.
It would have to be Snoop Dogg for me. Snoop Dogg would sound
What?
really good.
Ooh.
Hell yeah, dude. That would for shizzle. All right.
That's painful.
I know. That's why I said it. That's why I said it.
It's painful for you to hear, for me to hear, and it's painful for a lot. Yeah.
Hazel, how many do you get, man?
33.
Podium finish, brother. Nice job.
Yeah, not
You were
bad.
moving, man.
You that one question stuck. I knew you were in trouble when it happened, but you kept rolling though, dude. Good. You kept rolling. You were good, man.
Yeah, it's not about the answer, just about the speed. And then going, I can't think of a single name of who I want to voice a ghost.
Well, me and Hazel made it 90 seconds, mainly so we could be entertained a little longer with the answers. So.
Yeah.
What's really funny, though, is that I even knew the answers he was going to say before he
really?
said them.
Wow. Okay.
I did. It's pretty funny. I was like, oh, he's going to say Nessus. And, oh, he's going to say audiobook. And I was just laughing. I'm like, I know what this game is.
Yeah. Whatever pops in your brain first.
Exactly.
We talked about Nessus, so there you go.
Exactly.
Oh, it makes sense. Hey, listeners, I got a question for you. Do you have a great question for our speedrun? If that's a yes, join our Discord, enter them in our speedrun question ideas channel. We'll add them to next year's speedrun, I promise. Just remember, they need to be yes or no, 1 or 2 word answers. Either or questions will also be accepted. And I love what's your favorite. At the end of the year, we're going to have 2 drawings for a $25 gift card of your choice. And you can enter up to 5 questions to go into the drawing. So good luck. All right. That means it's my favorite time of the week. It's time for This Week at Bungie. Okay, This Week at Bungie, week 11 of Season of the Lost. Hazel, what's going on this week, man?
All right, so in honor of Peroty, I'm gonna keep this short and sweet, because it's a pretty flaccid twab, not meaty at all. Okay, so Festival of Lost is over. Iron Banner's in full effect. FYI. Hey, I got a question real quick for everybody here, because I don't know if this is for all of it or just the new stuff that's dropping. So, okay, the new Iron Forerunner set has basically like a fiery glow to it. So like the chest and the arms and the legs and all that good stuff. Mm-hmm. So is that just on the new stuff that drops, or is this on the old stuff that dropped too?
I did try it last night. I was playing the first night, Tuesday night, we played Iron Banner with Zaniac and Warcry and all the guys in the clan, and they told me about this, and I'm like, so I put it on. I got the arms to glow. I'm looking at the picture here. The arms and the chest definitely glows from existing Forerunner. As long as it's Forerunner armor that you got from previous Iron Banners from Beyond Light, it should still work. Or no, Beyond Light, when did they come out with the Forerunner? Was that Season of the Lost?
That was this season right now, yeah.
So yeah, as long as you got it from past Iron Banners from this season, yeah, it should be plug and play. Just put it on and it should glow. And it's only, I think they said it's only during Iron Banner, but I put it on right away and it was glowing. So as long as it's Iron Banner week, I guess.
Yeah, it's Iron Banner week. You don't have to be an Iron Banner, but just Iron Banner week.
Now I do see there's some glowing leg pieces and some glowing helmets here.
No, those are for, the leg pieces and the helmets, those are different sets. So
okay.
Don't get all excited about that.
Okay, that's what I thought. That's what I thought.
Yeah, that's part of the year-end
solstice stuff.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I've got some of that gear. Yeah, that's what I thought. But I just want to make sure.
Yeah, don't let Gator dissuade you or, confuse the listener.
Me confusing? No.
So, all right. So moving on quickly here. Okay, so Iron Banner's in full effect. How's your Iron Banner been?
Peroty?
Sweaty. Very, very sweaty. I've done some solo and some group, and it's I think the PvP community is healthier because all the sweats are in Iron Banner. I found them.
Or they found you.
I'd have to agree.
Yeah, more likely. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was on last night. I got home late. I was supposed to do a raid earlier, and I had to back out of it. My wife wanted to go out, and I got home, and I think I messaged Zaniac, and he was in a group already, and he bails out a little early because of work. But I jumped on and says, hell with it. I'm going to just do a freelance. Let's do the freelance one. Jumped in there. I'm looking at my crew. You know, they show all the KDAs of all the people. 2.66, 4.9. I mean, I had low. No, this is on my team. I'm like, oh hell yeah, man. We got like at least 4 of our 6 players are over 2 KD. Hell yeah, let's rock. I get in there. Just fast forward to the end, to the middle of the game before I left the game. It was 86-4. Not on my team. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm out. I hate to use the F word. I'm out, man. It's just not, it's not going to be Iron Banner tonight. So, I mean, it was the sweatiest Iron Banner match I have ever played. Every time I turned around, there were 2 guns in my face. And, it was just, wow. It was super sweaty. And I wasn't expecting that, you know? And the fact that Trials is not on during Iron Banner week, it's definitely, you can definitely feel it. You're getting some really sweaty players in there, which, I mean, that's part of the thing. And answer me this. Is it skill-based match made or is it not for Iron Banner? Because I'm confused.
It is not for Iron Banner, I don't believe.
See,
I think it's still connection-based.
I looked under the title and it used to say similar skill, but now it doesn't say that. So I'm like, okay, is it?
Well, that similar skill thing was an error and they took that away.
Oh, okay. So it's not skill-based. Okay. See, I was just, it's like someone hit me over the head with a bat. I was like, hell with this. I'm out. You know, what about you, Hazel? I mean, how did it go for you? Have you played?
Yeah. I played like 3 games, I think. And, it was, so I streamed for the first time in forever.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah. It was great. I had like 5 visitors and
hell yeah.
I was just, you know, talking shit and everything else. So, yeah, I was trying to do the Master Presage solo flawless.
Ooh,
so that sounds like pain.
That is pain.
Why? Why would you do that to yourself?
I wanted the emblem.
Okay, Night Demon, carry on.
I'll keep my remark to myself.
What?
Nothing.
There's a shiny thing. I need the shiny thing.
Nothing.
Okay, you go smash your head into that wall.
I can't say anything because we were just talking about they should give people emblems for going flawless and et cetera last week. So I can't comment on that.
What? I want to hear this.
No. I mean, I was going to make fun of you too, that you were looking after a shiny thing, but as gamers, we like those emblems. And that's why last week when we talked about Trials, I said there was no reason for people to go flawless. There's no real cosmetic or any way of showing off how many times you've gone flawless or anything like that.
Yeah.
And emblems was one of my ideas. So here you're proving my point. You ran this solo painful Master Presage, and just to get the emblem. And I know that emblem too. It's a pretty nice emblem.
Yep, I have it, by the way.
Nice.
And
good job.
Yeah. That's a different story though. So yeah, Helios was in there, and then after like 3 or 4 or 5 deaths, I'm just like, all right, you know, I'm gonna hop off, and Helios is like, why don't you play Crucible and Banner with me? I was like, fuck, all right, fine. So I went ahead, I jumped in Iron Banner on PC because that's where Helios is.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
So
the story's going great, I can tell.
So we went in, we got absolutely demolished the first game. It was just unreal. I mean, we got completely taken advantage of, and not the nice way. So then like the second game, we didn't even realize it. We were just talking and laughing and shooting and playing and everything else, and we stomped them.
See, I wanted to mention this before I pass that on to you. I forgot to mention it, I should say. I ran with our clan and various members of the Guardian Hub guys too. It was for a couple Tuesday night reset and last night, which was Thursday night. And man, we were doing really well. We were mercing a lot of teams, and I felt bad for some of the teams. I don't know how they match these people up with us, but we were just bulldozing. And then there'd be like 1 or 2 matches where we get bulldozed, but it was very few playing as a group. But that one time playing solo, I don't even know what hit me, man. It was, fast paced.
Yeah. I mean, this is actually the first time I played Iron Banner since, in forever, honestly.
Yeah,
I just don't do it. I just don't like 6v6 anymore.
Yeah, you mentioned that.
Yeah, I just can't do it. It's just it's not fun to me. I can't practice like my skill and stuff like that in it because I'm getting killed by random shit. So
yeah, there's entirely too many things. I noticed that too. I've been doing trials almost every weekend where I could and like playing a good bit of it. And then walking into 6v6, it's like, oh, there's a lot of people in this clown car. There's way too many people here. Like there's, I hear people talk about, the maps are too small and they're not built for this. And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. I felt it, this Iron Banner, because I've done, other than like my, I enjoy PvP, but I just don't have the time. So I'll go in and like do my 3 matches and usually jump out because there's nothing I'm going for. But I love Iron Banner. And yeah, it just that many people with, stasis and grenades and shotguns and Vex Mythoclast hitting you from all angles. It's like, okay, I'll just be here and hope for the best. I'm going to use my ARC buddies and hope they can find somebody because I'm dying before I even realize you're here.
And I'm still, I've still got faith that I'm going to get at least a few games in with Night Demon. I know he has to work on the weekends, but we're going to figure it out. And when we do, I'll stream it so I can throw it in the YouTube channel. It'll finally happen sometime. Maybe this weekend. We'll see.
Yeah.
So you're saying there's a chance.
Yep, exactly. But yeah, so we ended up going, I think, 2 for 3. I think we played maybe 4 games, and we went 3-1.
That's not bad.
So yeah, I
don't think
that against PC. So yeah, that was
PC. PC is not really that much harder. I would say if you're used to playing console all the time and you jump over to PC, it's like the skill bracket goes up just a little bit because mouse and keyboard players versus console players, where they're going to beat you is up close. They're going to be able to whip around and shotgun you, or their mobility is just going to be so much better, especially their way they can see things a lot faster because of being on a mouse and point and click, and yes, we have aim assist. I get that. But I used to, before PS5 came out, I used to play with a PS4 controller on PC all the time. And I just got used to it after a while, but it's a little bit harder, but not that much harder. Just depends what you're playing, I guess.
Yeah. So, so cool. Let's see here. Moving on. Testing the Watchers.
Oh, boy.
This was about the Evil Trials debacle that happened this past weekend, where basically nobody liked it. So, and by nobody liked it, Bungie actually gave us numbers and said 33% games played less.
Yeah, that was big. Third games.
Yeah, a third of the games. Just, nobody wanted to play. The blowout rate went up slightly to 28%, which I don't understand at all.
I don't either.
But yeah, and then the average matchmaking time skyrocketed for anywhere from up to 2 to over 5 minutes, depending on which bracket you were in. So yeah.
Well, they said it was going to be a little longer because of the new skill, but the new win-based system. And 5 minutes, I'm guessing that's probably people who had over 20 or 40, 20, 30 wins, I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Lucky 10P, he did a video and he said that, yeah, he was waiting anywhere between like 5 to 7 minutes for a game.
That's a long time.
Yeah, exactly. So basically they said that, hey, this didn't work out the way we thought it would, and we're going to go ahead and re-enable the card-based matchmaking with the flawless pool for the foreseeable future. But they're going to be doing a Trials Labs coming up, and they're going to do some more details with that. So yeah. So Peroty, you said you played Trials. Did you try Trials this past weekend?
I did, and I went to Widow's Court, and yeah, it wasn't good times. I think I played enough. Like, it was certainly the first weekend I missed the first Trials Labs, but I've played at least a good, like 30 or 40 rounds every weekend I was able to. And I think I probably played more last weekend, only because I had some downtime during the week, had a few days off, and it was like. It started out well, but you definitely didn't feel sort of that little bit of relief come like Sunday afternoon, at least knowing that, okay, I think some of it was just the mental game of knowing that the flawless people are in a different pool. It's like, okay, at least if I step into this, there's a chance. And it really, truly, and as I did say, the matchmaking was completely random. Like I went in for the most part solo, And it was just absolutely, sometimes you get the flawless and unbroken guy on your team. Sometimes you get the 0.2 KD guys on your team who wanted to dance in circles. Thankfully, I didn't have anyone just load in to go kill themselves. Like everybody I loaded in with at least tried to play. But yeah, it was rough. It was definitely rough. It was the first week where I did not even get like the 50 wins for the drop on my Titan and my Warlock, because I try to do that every weekend. I at least play enough to get those, to earn those engrams, but it was just rough. It was just rough all the way around.
Well, me and you jumped in on a Monday night, didn't we, Hazel? With just starting for the week. What was your experience?
So, we jumped in after we did our scrims.
Oh, that's right.
Wow, so you had some warm up time. So that's good.
That was a lot of fun too, by the way.
That was great. So, actually, I'm putting my wife to work. I gave her both layouts. So I gave her Patty Cakes' layout and also Ascendant Nomad's layout. And I told her, like, hey, this is what I want to keep. This is what I want to do. This kind of thing. And she's like, okay, I can do that for you. So, so that should be coming out probably not for this weekend or this Monday, because we're going to do, Patty Cakes' rules straight up. Okay. And then, the following week will probably be GDC rules.
Yeah. So she's going to make a new graphic. Nice.
Yeah, exactly.
Like it.
Fancy.
So, yeah.
Thank you, Mrs. Hazelnut.
Yeah, exactly. So she didn't do it today. And I was like, what the hell am I paying you for? So, but my experience with Trials it wasn't bad. But then again, we were playing at like 1:00 in the morning.
Yeah, on a Monday or
on
Sunday.
A Monday.
Was it Monday? Yeah, Monday.
Monday. Yeah.
It was like the very last time to play before the reset the next morning. So, we had some fun. Well, I mean, we actually did the Trials report because I think we were wanting to test how the matchmaking was working, and I got to admit, it was pretty accurate.
It was, except for the beginning. The beginning matches were fucking whack as shit.
We had one guy that had gone flawless 22 times, I think you said.
Yeah, exactly. And another guy was like 24 times. And I'm like, what the hell? And they had, I think, 6 or 7 wins that game.
Right.
So, yeah, it was like the first 2 games, it was just all completely messed up. But after that, it straightened out completely.
Yeah, we got into a nice flow. I mean, I think we did. And then Warcry joined us a little later, and he didn't have as many wins as I thought he did. So we were, checking everyone's win count through Trials Report. I had it on like a separate thing, and I was pleased overall. I mean, of course, it wasn't representative of all the people who grind all weekend to play it. I really feel bad for, I think Rye for short.
Yeah, Rye for short.
He played right at reset, and that meant he started racking up the wins early in the week. And by the time the end of the week came, I don't think he was wanting to play anymore.
Yeah, I don't think so. And it didn't help that one of his buddies cashed in some points and ended up making him run as Titan. So
I heard about that.
I had to laugh, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
it's like insult to injury.
I know. I have one thing I wanted to say about Trials, and I know I've already lost Elmer Fudd because he's tired of me talking about it, but I'll keep it short, I promise. I think overall, looking at the last, 8 weeks of playing Trials now, what they have done to Trials is a good thing, because it didn't used to be where if you didn't have a fire team of 3, you couldn't even get into the game. So the fact that they're allowing solo players to just jump in and dabble with it and play around with it is outstanding. And yes, it means you're going to probably get stomped some, and you're probably going to have some games that are probably a little more fair. And until they get that honed in, yes, there's going to be issues there. But I have to admit, overall, I have enjoyed Trials. I've actually engaged in Trials, I think, almost every week. And you know what? I think I heard this on another podcast. You can lose every game and still earn reputation and still get that Engram toward a weapon. So you have to at least give them credit for that participation is still going to, in other words, I remember we used to play 8 hours on a weekend and have nothing show for it because we didn't go flawless, or we didn't get our 5-win streak or a 7-win streak, and you got nothing for your time. Bungie recognized that, they're giving people some kind of reward for the time spent in the game. And I like I said last week, I'm amazed they even went beyond having a flawless pool. And they were trying different kinds of matchmaking. They're trying to figure it out. And I'm curious what the Trials Labs brings next week. But I just wanted to say that, you know I complain a lot about Trials and stuff. It's not really my game type. I'm not that kind of player. I'm not a rush and heavy, rush and gun type player. I'm more of I'm not a passive player, but I'm kind of in between. I kind of know.
Sandbagger.
I know. Whatever. I know when to rush and I know when not to, but I tend to play my life when I'm playing Crucible. I don't give it away so freely. I want people on the other team to be pissed. How are we going to kill this dude? He keeps getting down to 2 health and then disappears on us like a damn captain. So, I think I was a captain in another life in Destiny. But anyway, I just wanted to say that because I know we've been bitching and moaning about Trials, but there has been a lot of good that has come from Trials. A lot of people who normally wouldn't even come near this game have tried it. And I know for a fact the 3rd, 4th week, we were playing with some people who don't normally play Trials and they were having a great time. And I don't know. I just have to say what the changes they have made to this game, I've been happy with. And as much as not everyone's going to go flawless in this game. It's just not that way. If you want to get the adept gear, you're just going to have to be able to practice and get better at the game. And, that's the way it should be. I mean, if you look at strikes, for instance, unless you run these super, really hard level strikes, you're not going to get adept gear. It's the same way it is in Trials. If you go that extra mile and you learn how to play the game, whether it's what the strike's called, I can't remember because I don't play. Grandmasters. I steer clear of these because I'm like, I heard how hard these are. It takes a lot of prep, a lot of gear, specking and stuff like that. And we're going to talk about that later. But I just want to mention it's at least heading in the right direction. So kudos, Bungie. Kudos what you're doing. And, keep it up. All right, I'm off my soapbox.
Okay, I've got a spin foil theory for you.
Okay,
no pun intended. So, what are the odds that Bungie has already got the shit figured out for Witch Queen, and they're just trying to fine tune it all right now? Because what this was to me was this is what everybody wants. Everybody wants a tiered system.
Mm-hmm.
That's what, was it Cool Guy? He's like, yeah, what is Trials? I don't know what Trials is. Is it a loot game? Is it something else? It's like, it's a fucking PvP mode, you dick. Just fucking play the game.
Wow, Cool Guy won't be on our show in the future. Thanks.
But come on. Why does it need an identity? It is what it is.
Yeah.
I don't understand why he's up on his high horse going what is Trials and this and that. I'm like, I just don't understand the argument.
I understand what he's saying there. He's saying, listen, is it a hardcore game or is it going to be a game for everyone to play? Just, they need to make a decision which direction they're going.
What does it matter? Why do they need to decide? Why can't it be for casuals to jump in, get their ass handed to them, get 50 wins?
Oh, well,
is it that people are bitching about not going flawless?
I think his point is you're not going to make the two happy. The two sides of the spectrum, you're never going to make them completely happy. And I guess he's just saying, is this a mode that's going to be hardcore, like a tournament style play, or is it going to be just a loot drop?
Why does it need, it's both. I don't understand why it has to be one or the other.
Well, you can go to his YouTube and comment. I like, I have a soft spot for Cool Guy. I like his videos, and I like him.
I do too, but he's up on this this horse now where he's like, well, gee, what is Trials? And it's like, he's like, I don't even play it anymore because I don't know what it is. And I'm like, I don't understand. I don't know. I just don't get it.
Well, he's very much an analytical player. You can tell because he doesn't get salty at all. He reminds me of Cammy Cakes. He's very calculated in how he plays. And damn, if you've never seen Cammy Cakes do a live commentary on his play, his mind is amazing to listen to.
We're not talking about that.
Okay, but what I'm saying is he probably needs in his mind, maybe he needs to know what he needs to do to get the end result, and maybe it's a little wishy-washy now.
Doesn't he just kick the shit out of anybody anyway?
He's a very good player. I'm not defending the guy. I'm just saying, I'm just trying to be devil's advocate here. But
right, and I get it. I mean, do you understand my point?
I get your point. I do.
Why it needs to be something.
Parody?
Yeah, I think part of it is probably I as a creator, I mean, at the end of the day, everyone's looking to make content, and I'm not saying it's just for the content, but it's like, hey, I've played this enough. I'm thinking about this and trying to look at Destiny and go, where does this sit? I mean, I think it sits squarely where Bungie has put it and has talked about it. It's aspirational content. It's not Destiny is never going to be a Call of Duty's Twitch shooter, professional gaming racket thing. Like, it's never going to be that. And I'm glad that it seems like we've sort of moved away from trying to make Destiny into that. It's like, it's going to have a competitive game mode. If you want like top tier competitive professional PvP, don't play Destiny. Just don't do it. It's not, that's not what this game is going to be. I think it's aspirational. You can go in and get some really cool things if you're good at this. You can go in and try to get cool things if you're not so good at this. And that's sort of where it sits. I mean, I can sort of understand looking at Destiny overall and trying to figure out what the game is, where all the pieces fit. Like to Gator's point, his analytical mind of how does this all fit together? It's like, I want to know where this fits. But yeah, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. I mean, it doesn't matter where it fits. He's trying to figure it out or try to think through it, or hey, it's a thing that's been bouncing around his head going, how does this fit? How can I explain where this sits in the rest of Destiny? Yeah, doesn't matter. Right. No, but it doesn't need to either. It's a game mode just like every other game mode. I'm just happy that there's a reason to play it.
I'm sorry.
Like us have put into
exactly.
I'm sorry, Elmer Fudd. I'm sorry I dragged everyone down this wormhole again. I do apologize.
Well, I mean, to be fair, we did have 800 years of no PvP talk or trials.
You're probably right.
To be fair, that's what the topic is.
Right.
And that's where, again, it's reinvigorated. I mean, just looking at the numbers, 500,000 people playing trials where it was 100,000 or so.
It was brutal.
It's a much more healthy PvP community overall, because I'm sure that trickles down to my buddy Panoramix, who does not like PvP, does not want to go into PvP. I think the most fun we ever had was in the Crimson Doubles, running dual grenades and
skip
sweet
grenades
businesses with the war rigs. Running top tree arc and playing a game of keep away.
Oh, you're that guy.
Just standing next to each other with sweet businesses. Like, he does not play PvP, but he was like, want to go play trials?
Who cares? You're having fun.
One of the things is, a couple weeks back, he's like, want to go in? Let's go with the trials. Let's try it out. Let's play with it. It's like, are you feeling okay, sir? That's like my other buddy who's like, who hates the Drifter with a passion, saying, I want to go play Gambit now. It's like, are you all right? If you can bring people like that into trials, you've done something right.
You're doing something right. Yeah. And exactly. I think what's driving people to play trials now is the loot grind. People want the loot.
It's not even a grind for the loot.
They still have to play the game. They still have to play the games to get the.
I want to make the little wheel go around, and I want Titan Dad to give me an engram, and I want to turn it into a messenger. That's what I'm here for. That's my gameplay loop.
Exactly.
Yeah. Exactly.
Now, where I think they need to step things up. How about bringing some of the other weapons in now? How about bringing in the scout rifle? How about bringing in the auto rifle, summoner, which I've been trying to get? Hello? I've never gotten a summoner. I want the summoner.
Oh, yes, you do.
I do. I know the aim assist isn't great on it, but it's a strong gun.
Oh, it's so good. Like that was the one of the when Trials, before they did the revamp, when Trials was, you can go play for, call it 90 minutes and just earn enough to get that one, basically play enough games to earn that one engram to turn it in for the 3-win weapon that week.
Yep.
I did that. I've unlocked the weapons slowly but surely over time for that, and that's where my summoner came from that I really enjoy. And yeah, I was hoping. I'm still hoping in this season where they refresh the loot pool, because the Astral Horizon shotgun's not in the loot pool, the summoners in the loot pool. I was hoping that as you turned in engrams, it would be like in the pool to drop.
I was hoping that too, and it never happened.
Not, but yeah, so far it doesn't seem.
No, I checked.
Doesn't seem to be the case.
I've dropped a lot of engrams and it hasn't happened.
Yeah, no, I did the same thing because I had none of the armor, so I just turned them in and got armor piece. Okay, I was like, so clearly you're working through the things I don't have, but. Right. And if it's not in Saint 14's inventory, it doesn't drop, which is disappointing because I've got one, but I could get a better one.
It'd be
hope
nice.
that it's not in his loot pool.
What?
Here's what I hope. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I hope that they do like a refresh on December 7th.
Mm-hmm.
And they take out the messenger and igneous hammer and all the stuff that's in there now. They take that out.
Yeah.
And then they refresh it with all new stuff. And then, that's what we're playing for next.
Now I'm gonna use a Hazelism.
Uh-oh.
It's not gonna happen, man. It's not gonna happen. I don't think they're gonna do that. I think they're gonna be worried about
It's a long season.
I know it is, but I don't think it's gonna happen. I think this is it. I think this is it for the season.
You're out of your fucking tree,
Hey,
man.
Bungie, prove me wrong.
Dude, this is so gonna happen, and I'll bet money on this. I'll make a bet.
All right.
We don't even have to do money.
Okay.
So,
all right. I'm listening. I'm listening.
Okay. So I'm saying there will be a refresh for Trials
On the 35th anniversary. Okay.
30th anniversary.
That's what I meant. Okay.
I
What's your no.
I should have taken the 35th anniversary.
What's your wager? What's your wager?
I don't know.
All right. All right. I tell you what. Here's this will be the wager. If I win, I get to name you for that rest of the season in the Discord, and you can't change it. And if you win, you get to change my nickname in the Discord for the rest of the season. Fair enough?
Ooh. There's some stakes.
Wait a minute. I got to make sure he's accepting this.
All right.
Done. You heard it, listeners.
Mm-hmm.
It's on.
Yep.
Damn it, Bungie, you better not prove me wrong.
No.
What else?
How bad do you want that summoner, man?
I do want the summoner. If I have to put up with whatever name you give me in the Discord for the rest of the season, I'm good. If I get a summoner, I'm happy. All right. What else is going on in the top? Is there anything else we need to cover?
The bounty table. So with this, the Bungie bounty is back.
Mm-hmm.
So it looks like mainly for North American players. It's going to be the 8th, the 12th, the 13th, the 14th, and the 19th. So the fun part for all that is that for the most part, it's going to be mostly PC. So I'm sorry about that. But one cool thing, though, is that Amaze is going to be out there on November 8th on console.
I saw that. Leopard's back. Leopard's back, too.
Yes. Leopard
Fallout.
is going to be on PC. And Fallout,
Yes.
yeah. I'm going to be hopping on PC.
I will be there.
Well, that's Monday. That's going to be during scrims, actually, or before scrims.
Yeah, that's right.
But then the rest of it's PC players, and then the next console is going to be November 14th at 11:30 a.m. Pacific, and that's going to be Gamer Girl Gray, and I guess the 19th will be Jay Snipperton or
Sniperton, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the 14th is Sunday, 19th is Friday, so there's a chance.
I want that emblem too.
Here's the thing, though.
Fallout's local to me. I think he's in Northern Virginia. So find whoever's in your DC area and have them be your leader or load in.
These are all Pacific times. I wonder does Leopard live near Florida? I can't remember.
He is in Florida. Yeah.
Ooh, so you're saying there's what day and time and what platform and where do they live and who lives closest to them geographically
Okay.
Yep, exactly. What really sucks is that I took off on the 9th.
Well, we're going to need to reschedule that to the 8th, sir. You clearly made a mistake.
Yeah, exactly. But maybe I can partner up with anybody in Germany.
Hey, just tell my wife about this tonight. Put your VPN. Thank you, sir.
You can do it.
Put your VPN on, set your country, and boom, you're good.
Yeah. Well, I knew what he was going to say.
If I'm treading water and I'm about to drown, he'll just push my head underwater.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of the image. Every time I'm waiting around going, shit.
Yeah, I just sit there and just listen. It's glorious. I'm like, VPN. I'm trying to tell him telepathy. Telepathic.
I was just talking to my wife about it tonight. I don't know why that word. I just say Surfshark. I'm good. Yeah.
Yep. All right. Besides
we're not sponsored by Surfshark, by the way.
Nope. Not like anybody else either.
Yep.
That kind of attitude.
Exactly.
Heroes welcome.
See what I got to deal with? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
See what I have to do with?
Trying to move the show on. Is that what
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So heroes welcome. So with this, if you know anybody that's a hero, like myself, for trying to move the damn show along, mention it to Destiny 2 or at Destiny the Game on Twitter. And, who knows? Maybe we'll get a shout out and something else. So, yeah, if you know any heroes, go for it.
That's pretty cool.
Yep. Next is Prime Cup of Tea. It's about that time again where we get a bunch of stuff from Amazon Prime and it's all trash. So unless you have it, or unless you don't have it, then then go for it, get all this shit, and then delete it all. But yeah, so there's a cup of tea emote, which is glorious. And then besides that, there's a sparrow, a ghost, and a ship. It's all just meh. Then Bungie added somebody to their crew. And next after that is Shit's Broken.
Wait a minute now. We want to mention at least this person. It's going to be part of the...
trying to move on, but yes.
I know.
Yes. So they introduced Sam. She is affectionately known as Queen Bartley in many social spaces. And she is actually going to be the tackling the feedback and bugs with the blog area.
Well, welcome to the community. Awesome.
Yeah, exactly.
And she's a warlock.
I read it.
She's a warlock too. Yeah.
We can't all be perfect, okay?
Okay.
So
I'm sorry, moving along.
Someone new for Respawn to yell at.
So you said shit was broken again?
Yeah, shit's always broken in some regard. So yeah, Telesto is even more broken now than before.
Great.
Now it's creating, what is it?
Warmind cells. As
Don't help him.
As the elemental wells.
Right.
So see, I play the game, so I know what's going on.
Okay.
So yeah. So there's that. I thought this was pretty funny. Polish players are getting confused by Frenzy and Rampage. So
Not translating right?
yeah, exactly.
Oh God, that's crazy.
So I feel bad for them.
Words are hard.
Yeah, exactly. I guess Gator did the verbiage for Polish players.
Probably.
And then after that, that's pretty much everything that I got. Videos, which are meh. The one that was great was Don't Play With Your Food. I would definitely recommend watching that one. That was good for a laugh. And then art, which is amazing art. We have the best artists in this damn community.
I know.
Really do.
And then the end here, Light the Fires. So with this, the 30th anniversary is about 5 weeks away, probably less than that now, way less. Mm-hmm. And then after that, we will see where it goes from there.
Okay. Thanks, Hazel, as usual. Thanks for going over the TWAB, where I don't have to. And you know what? We'll be right back. Hey, everyone. Looking for some like-minded gamers to Destiny with?
Or maybe just a place to de-stress and talk about life with others for a bit.
Or maybe just a place to discuss the latest movies, the TV shows, new awesome music out there.
What about New Year's resolutions or goals or our fitness section?
Well, you're also forgetting about our channels with links to our clan, SpeakPipe, our show music playlist for God's sake, or even where to get a show t-shirt, mouse pad, or coffee mug if you want to help support us.
Wow, you're not just a Bungie shill, you're a Guardian Downcast shill, huh? So, man, you must be forgetting also about the Podcast Questions channel, where listeners can put in their own questions for us.
And Hazel, our show feedback channel, where listeners can talk about our past podcast. And our...
Stop. This shameless plug has gone on long enough. I'm going to put a fork in it. Everybody, just go to the GDC Discord community link on our weekly show notes, where you can see the invite there. Just visit us at guardiandowncast.com. That invite link there will never expire, so just go there too.
And later, Guardian.
Oh my God, just stop.
What? What did I do?
You're so excited.
I'm excited, man.
Just bring it. Just bring it down.
All right, whatever, man. Okay, jeez.
Lay off the coffee.
What a downer. Hazel, before we move on to our other segments of the show, I wanted to mention a couple things. We've had a couple of our listeners, some of our well-known listeners, in fact, say, why not want to throw a few tips out there for some of us who don't play all the time, or maybe are returning and, just might want a refresher. And we kind of talked about it, I think. And we said, you know what? Okay, well, let's start with a tip tonight. That's probably something that might help returning players or players who maybe not know about this. And that is our armor mods. And we had a question from another listener of ours, Ronan Red Lion. And his question was, how much do specific armor stats really matter? Can you just stick with armor pieces that have an overall high numbers, no extreme lows, and then even it all out with mods? And that kind of was our topic of discussion tonight in this segment. I don't know if people know this, but you have basically general attributes to every armor piece you have, whether you add anything to it or not. And I know this is for our frequent Destiny players. I know this is going to sound repetitive, but I figure, what the hell? Let's talk about this. If you, there's 5 aspects of armor that you need to worry about. And each of those aspects of armor does different things. And I'll just list them here.
These are character stats, not aspects, because aspects could be considered for
your stasis. That's
stasis,
Thank you. That's very true. Your first stat at the very top is mobility. What that does is it increases not your running or sprint speed, but it increases your movement speed. And what I like about this stat, and I have a very high stat on this, it maximizes your jump height the higher you have it, and it goes from 1 to 10. And I like strafe speed. And I know there's certain weapon mods that'll give you faster strafe speed, but that's very important to me. Resilience is the second one, and that is related to how much damage you can take before dying. This is your basic hit points. And the higher it is from 1 to 10, obviously, you're going to have more hit points, so it'll take more shots to kill you, whether it's Crucible or in a strike or whatever. Your third one is recovery. This one's very important as well, because this increases the speed at which you regain health once you lose it. How quickly do you get those shields back? How quickly does your health regenerate? Those are your 3 main core attributes that are attached to every armor piece you get. And then there's the other 3 that were from Destiny 1. This is discipline, which is the cooldown time of your grenade. Obviously, the higher the number, the faster the cooldown. You have intellect, which is important to me. This is increases or decreases the cooldown of your super ability, which means you can use it more often. Certain situations, that is very important. And then your final one is strength. This is your cooldown for your melee ability, your powered melee. So those are your basic overall attributes to every piece of armor. And each armor has different values. And it's all RNG as far as what values you get. Is there anything you want to add to this, Hazel?
Definitely.
Well, go for it.
So I bet Peroty was chomping at the bit too to say it. So, depending on your class, so those first 3 abilities that he mentioned are the first 3 stats that he mentioned. So hunters, they value mobility. And the reason why they value it is because mobility, the higher it is, the quicker your class ability charges. So your dodge. So if you have a high mobility on there, your dodge is going to come back quicker. For Titans, the higher your resilience, the faster your shield comes back.
Yep.
And then for Warlocks, their pea puddle comes back the higher your recovery stat is.
That's called a rift, by the way, not a pea puddle. Just ignore that part.
Oh, sorry. My bad. But yeah, so there's that. That's everything I'll go into for now.
I mean, just sort of the same thing as you hit the big important things. I think it's just good to preface all of this with, you can go really deep into building this out, or you can just sort of lightly go into this and just sort of know, the higher the number, the quicker, the quicker your skill comes back. And if you use something like Destiny Item Manager or a Shark Commander, it'll show you, like, if you look at the armor piece, like your overall character, like how fast your super will come up, how fast your grenade will come up. And you can actually see the differences when you go from like a 1 to a 10 mobility in something. You'll actually be able to see, like, those recharge rates or those numbers change. So it's definitely something you can totally dig into and totally customize, but it's really just, you can get really in the weeds and deep with this, or just go, hey, I want a grenade faster. Let's spec in a grenade and just sort of see how that plays out.
Yeah, there's a lot of apps out there that to build and craft your armor mods. Now, what we just talked about there, those are your base stats for your armor. This is what you get RNG whenever an armor piece drops. These are the numbers you're looking at, okay? But you can even do more. You can do more to increase these stats. The first way I'm going to explain is simply upgrading your armor. What do I mean by upgrading your armor? If you look at the very top of your armor, there's a little hammer. Now, if you look at that hammer, it'll say, go to the next level. And there's 10 levels, by the way, before it becomes what you call masterworked. And as you keep ranking up your energy level for that armor, the more slots you're unlocking. And those slots are for mods. And Hazel, what the hell are mods, man? What do mods mean for armor?
That's a loaded ass question.
Sorry.
So basically each mod has a certain point value. So for example, in the first slot that's there, under basically where it says your energy, that first one pertains to basically your main abilities, your main stats. So discipline, strength, intellect, recovery, mobility, resilience. If you're lucky enough, transcendent blessing is one of them that I have in that first group.
Oh yeah.
And each one of them have a number in the upper right. And whatever that number is the number of energy that goes into basically slotting that item or that mod into that armor piece.
It can be as low as 1. It can be as high as 5, depending on your actual attribute.
Actually, as low as 0.
That's right.
Or as high as 9.
That's right.
Yep, as high as 9. Yep, I remember that.
Oh no, I meant for the base armor mods here. The first.
Oh, the first slot.
Yeah, I think the cheapest is like a +1 mobility, for instance, only cost 1. But if you want to go a full +10 on your recovery, then it's going to cost you 5. Is it 5 or 4?
So
I think it's 5.
It's 5 for intellect. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what you're going to see when you look at this is going to be that there's like basically 2 mods. One of them has like a little like dotted line. Another one has a full line around it. And the full line is going to cost more because it's going to add 10 discipline to whatever stat that you want to spec into.
Right.
So, yep. And this dotted line is 5 is what it's going to add. So if you get something that's like 68, you can throw on a 5 and then you can get to 70. You don't need to spend all of your energy on like for whatever it is to get it to +10 because it's not going to help you as much.
Right.
Because the system doesn't round up. It doesn't, and it all rounds down. So if you hit 69, it's still going to be counted as 60 stats.
Right. And
that armor for that mod.
That number 69, what that basically means, that you're rounding down, by the way. And when anybody says I have on my on my recovery, I'm a tier 6. That's what they mean. That means they're in the 60s as far as the mod number. But what you're wanting to get is a certain tier of those abilities, and there's a certain trade-off where you get diminishing returns the higher that level gets. Is there anything else I missed here, Hazel? On the first slot mod?
Well, the one thing I would add is that if you do masterwork your armor, you actually get +2 to all of your stats.
Yes. And it has like a nice little glowing outline of the square, so you know it's masterworked.
Well, it's just like all the other stuff. So if you masterwork a weapon too, it has a gold square around it, just letting you know that you've masterworked.
Exactly. But wait, there's more. Not only can you add to your abilities cooldowns like your discipline, mobility, and all that, your base stats, the second, third, and fourth slots can add other things, right, Hazel?
And sometimes fifth slot too.
Yes.
If it's
depends on the armor.
Yeah, exactly. Like raid armor has a fifth slot to it.
Just for raid mods. Yep,
exactly. But yes, the second and third slots, those luckily for us anyway, have the distinction of basically being utility mods, where basically you can go ahead and put anything in here. So you can put in, so each armor piece, so be it your helmet, your arms, legs, whatever it is, they all kind of do the same thing-ish. And what I mean by that is they all have the same profile. So every gauntlet, you can slot into it a reload So you can reload faster for all of your weapons, and each of those have a number in the corner, so that way you can go ahead and know how much energy it's going to cost to slot that in there. So for example, like a PvP build that I have, I love the messenger. So I have 2 pulse rifle loaders on there so I can reload faster.
Right. And some of them stack, by the way. You can put a reloader, like that pulse rifle reloader, you can put in both slots if you have the energy, which, remember, that's the masterworking thing we talked about above. So you could put a double.
It doesn't have to be masterwork.
No. But that's the energy. Like I mentioned, you can increase the energy level up to 10 on your armor, and it costs a lot. It costs materials and glimmer and enhancement shards, enhancement prisms. As you get higher and higher, it gets more expensive. But you get diminishing returns on stacking mods, but generally you can speed up by using 2 different mods on most mods, unless it says no.
Yep. So, and I mean, they have introduced some things now where, basically just a quick outline here where, okay, so your helmet, they have ammo finders for all of your pieces, and then they have targeting as well.
These are my favorite. Yeah.
So on my helmet, for PvP, I'm running double, basically, pulse rifle scavenger. Or not scavenger, I'm sorry, targeting.
Targeting, yeah.
Yeah. That way I can go ahead and get those headshots, and then I can proc Desperado, and then I can get Outlaw, and then it just steamrolls from there, basically.
And what targeting does is it increases your aim assist on your weapon. So when you are swiping across the screen to shoot someone, the aim assist is what slows down the weapon when you get over someone's head or body. That's aim assist. I know it sounds basic, but if you put these mods on there, it increases it even more than what the gun has at its base.
Well, actually, I mean, according to what it says here, not just aim assist, but it's target acquisition, which is aim assist,
right?
But also your accuracy and aim down sight speed as well.
Yes. It's a very good mod, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. And then the other thing was for the gauntlets, so not just reload, but also dexterity, so faster ready and stow speed for whatever weapon you want to use there. Chest is reserves, so you can have more in your
carrying capacity.
Exactly. And then also unflinching. So that way you can have unflinching pulse rifle, something like that. So that way you know that if you get shot while you're aiming, it's going to like reduce the flinch that you receive from that.
Right.
Then on your boots, they added holster mods. So basically if you have something stowed for a while, you're going to end up getting some of that ammo back into it. It's going to load from your reserves in there.
And that's something they added just this season.
Yep. And it does stack. That's a fun fact there.
Yes, it does.
So, and then besides that is scavengers.
Right.
Which you can't stack those anymore. There's no benefit to that. So, you only need to run one of that or one of each or something like that.
Depending what you're scavenging, maybe a moot point because primary weapons have
limited
ammo forever.
That's right.
That is true.
And that's something they changed just this season as well. So, but you can have mods that may not be scavengers, but maybe scavengers you're going to need for your special and heavy weapons. But you may have like a type of mod that actually where you can carry more ammo in each clip of a weapon that has unlimited ammo. So you could have better ammo capacity, which can help you in a gunfight too. So something to think about. But just when you think, oh my God, my head's already swimming with all these different mods, it goes even further than that. It can
go as deep as you want it to go.
Yes, there's Weapon of Light mod. There's actually mods. If you play the campaign on each season, you actually unlock new mods every season that keep getting added to the pool of mods. It's insane.
Mm-hmm. And there are mods that I didn't even talk about. Like on your boots, there are other mods where basically if you pick up an orb of power, you get health each time. Or that orb of power goes towards your grenade cooldown or your class ability or all your abilities, things like that. I know that we're throwing a lot at you here, but the other thing that I wanted to say is that it also depends on basically the affinity. So if it's arc, stasis, void, solar, whatever it is, that factors into it too.
Yeah. Why does energy on a armor piece matter?
That's a good question.
I'm being hypothetical.
Because Bungie doesn't want to give everything to everybody all in the same armor.
That's true. But I mean,
not the answer you were expecting there. But one thing I did want to say real quick is that, so for example, like the leg armor, how I mentioned those other pieces, those are for, what was that?
You're talking about your class ornament. No,
I'm talking about, because it varies for any armor. So
Right.
like if you,
Oh, that's right.
like, yeah. So like leg armor, recuperation is orb of power, gives you health.
Mhm.
Orb of power gives you grenade cooldown. And lastly, on solar, it's orb of power reduces all ability cooldowns.
Right.
So that's just for solar. Now for arc, gives you reduced melee cooldown and then also reduced all ability cooldowns as well there.
Right. Those are your orb mods, yeah. When you pick up an orb of light or darkness.
Yep. And then void is regenerate health immediately. Then it's all abilities and your class ability for void. So
it can get really deep. I mean, there is so much. This is so much different than Destiny 1, isn't it? It's so much more expansive.
Well, I mean, it's more so just that. I mean, it basically lets you craft whatever you want to do
to your play style or whatever even what you're playing, whether it's a strike or it's crucible or you're trying to get into a grandmaster, nightfall, whatever it may be. You need certain mods to make it work.
Yeah. Well, anybody who's, played the game and done a nightfall and you see a damn captain or a champion out there and you're like, he gets this damn bubble around him. What the hell do I do? It's like, okay, well, if you're running particle, deconstruction, you just melt him whenever he takes his bubble down and then he dies. But if you want to play it legit, what you do is you put on anti-barrier mods, which are from your seasonal artifact. And then you can go ahead and, put that on your arms and then you run whatever it is that's anti-barrier. So like right now it's anti-barrier auto rifle.
It's
so
different for every season.
Yeah. So as long as you run an an auto rifle and that mod, it doesn't matter if it's primary or special, it'll still work.
And that's in your gauntlets, by the way, your armor.
Yep.
Yep.
Exactly.
And I wanted to mention this. You mentioned the artifact. This is the reason why. All right, now I'm going to get hate for this from Hazel probably, but this is the reason why you want to stack bounties before each season, because the faster you unlock that artifact, guess what unlocks with it? Not only your power, but you're unlocking all of these different mods that you can actually put on your armor right away. So don't overlook your artifact. Your artifact, which is your seasonal artifact, these are seasonal mods that only apply to Season of the Lost or whatever next season's coming up will be a different set. And it is all over the place. It can be finishing mods. It can be special. He said particle deconstruction. This is where if you use a fusion rifle or I'll just read it here. Yeah, dealing damage to a combatant with a fusion rifle or a linear fusion rifle grants bonus damage with a fusion rifle or linear rifle against that combatant for a short duration. This effect stacks up to 5 times. Let me tell you, when you're using a regular fusion rifle and you hit 5 bolts into the enemy, they have already maxed stacks out. And let me tell you, you can melt bosses very quick with this mod. That's the reason why Vex Mythoclast is such a terror right now in PvE. So
you shut your mouth.
There's
nothing wrong with that.
They're going to nerf it, dude. There's nothing you can do about that. Peroty, anything you want to add? I know I know probably people who are not used to this, their heads probably swimming by this point, but
you hit on a couple of good points. Is the first one is just if you're listening to all this going, where do I even start? They've said a lot of words and I'm very confused. Just think about, what's your favorite gun? What, whether it be a favorite gun or say, I really like auto rifles or I really like hand cannons. Let me see, what do I have on my armor that I can make that hand cannon better, that I can make my auto rifle go a little faster? Just sort of, instead of trying to think about, like getting totally overwhelmed, just go, what do I enjoy using and how can I make it a little bit better? And one thing they did with the armor for this season too is any armor pieces you're getting that has the stasis sort of affinity to it and has a little stasis symbol on it.
Mm-hmm.
There are mods you can put into it, which are kickstart mods, which are, because some of these mods you look at and you go, okay, well this is auto rifle unflinching. Am I really taking less flinch when I'm shooting my auto rifle? There's some kickstart mods you can put into basically your second 2 mod slots on your armor that has stasis affinities to it. And the kickstart mods are really nice because it's basically when you throw a grenade, give you more grenade energy. When you use your class ability, your Titan Barricade, your Warlock Puddle, your Hunter Dodge, give me more ability. It's just basically, when I use this, give it back to me. Kickstart that ability to make it charge again. It's a nice one you can sort of see it work, and gives you an entryway into just using some of these mods. And yeah, and like Gator was talking about on the seasonal pass, it's if you're doing any kind of Nightfall or harder PvE content where there are champions, looking at those champion mods, okay, because every season it'll be different sets of mods that go on different weapons or different weapon classes. It'll just give you a little intro into how to use them. It's also fun. You can run around if you enjoy auto rifles. The anti-barrier auto rifle mod will also shoot through the barriers on things like hobgoblins or other combatants in the game that don't have to be a champion or harder content. If there's something that puts a shield up, oftentimes you can shoot through that shield with the anti-barrier mod. So it's fun just to, mix and match, play around, and whatever you enjoy playing, sort of lean into that and say, how can I make this a little bit better? How can I make this more interesting?
Yeah.
Good point.
Yeah. And you can really go deep into it. You can just say, here's 2 or 3 things I like. Let's put those on and just see what happens. See if I can see any noticeable difference in them. Because I feel like sometimes you do. And unless you're doing, sweaty PvP or, Grandmaster Nightfalls, some of it makes a difference and some of it just kind of doesn't. And, lean into your play style. Whatever you're enjoying, you can make it a little bit better.
Yeah. Well said.
Yeah. And one thing I do want to add is basically, like, if you are interested in this and you want to try out some mods and things, what I would say would be either one, there's 3 different ways you can do it, like starting out. So like what Peroty said is, what type of gun do you like using? Me, I love auto rifles first and foremost. So the first mods I looked into were auto rifle stuff. Then another way you can do it is if you run a certain class. So so Gator, you run Warlock.
Yep.
Okay. So what you could do is you could say like, okay, so you know what? This is the exotic that I like. What's the blink? What is that one that you use for the blink?
I use the exotic helmet called Astrocyte Verse.
That's right.
You blink further and more frequently. Your weapon readies quickly out of blink, and your radar remains up. I love this helmet because all I do in the Crucible is blink. I'll blink over people. I'll blink over shotgunners, and I can see them the whole while because I have this helmet on. But I'll give you a for instance. So I like to use fusion rifles, and I like to use pulse rifles. So what do you think I'm going to have on this helmet, Hazel?
Yeah, I know you're an ass. So yes,
I didn't ask that.
I found this out in scrims. So yeah, he was a blink fusion rifle, and he was like blinking over me and just like shooting me in the back. And
I didn't mean that.
I cursed him every time.
But you know why? You know why that was working?
Because you're a bad man.
No, because I had a fusion rifle targeting mod. My aim assist was even stronger than the base on the gun, or what I've maxed out on the gun. And because I was using a pulse rifle as well, I had also a pulse rifle targeting mod. And you're probably asking yourself, well, how could you get both? Because my energy was maxed out at 10. I had all the slots open. So I had, for instance, my targeting mod for my pulse rifle was 3 energy slots, and my fusion rifle targeting was 4, which if you subtract that, that's 7 slots, right? So I had 3 slots left to use for 10 more mobility on my first slot. So that's how I built that as an example, that helmet.
Yep, exactly. And then, so what I did, or how I spec'd into, like, the third way you can spec into something is basically, or decide what you want to do not masterwork, but what you want to use your mods for is what stats do you value most? Now, myself, when I'm doing PvE type stuff, I value resilience. So I have like a set of armor where it's 100 resilience and recovery. And there's
YouTube videos that'll tell you how to do that. Just search it out.
I mean, also a good website that I use is d2armorpicker.com. Yes. And it basically asks you, what do you want?
Yes.
Do you want like 100, resilience, 100 recovery, things along those lines. And then it tells you what armor pieces to put on. But that's what I do is, I mean, depending on what I'm doing. So if I'm doing PvE, I value resilience and recovery because I need to get my health back and I need to be able to take a lot of damage because I'm out in the open. I'm a Titan in my heart. So no matter what class I run, I'm out there in the middle of shit trying to punch somebody. Mm-hmm. But when I'm doing PvP, I value recovery and intellect.
Smart
also,
Titan live longer.
Yeah, exactly. Also, if I'm running Hunter, I will spec into Discipline just so I can get my grenade back. So that way I can do Shatter Dive more. Love you.
Wow.
That was the knowingest I've heard in a while.
I know about that. I actually saw, yeah, you were Shatter Dive someone in Trials. I was like, go for it, man. Hell yeah. Kick ass. Because he was on my team. Yeah.
Exactly, right?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Live by the Shatter Dive, die by the Shatter Dive.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. I had a fail with Shatter Dive. It was glorious. I went to Shatter Dive and I did on top of one piece of ice. And then I ended up spinning off of it. I was like, no. So yeah, I used my dodge on there and I was just like, shit.
That's like when you on the shoulder charge somebody and they're a little bit out of the way and you swing at the air, then they just
that's glorious. That's a glorious
you're
thing.
That awkward staring at them like, pardon me, I'm gonna go this way. Oh no, okay.
Hey, you could be doing a Superman Titan slam and flying in the air to get an invader and Gambit, and you run out of energy before you reach him, and you just fall to the ground and go, bear back. Yeah, hold on one sec. One sec. I'll be right with you. Hold on 1 second.
Yeah. Or if you're Soccer OG from scrims, you can fly around the map for a good 30 seconds and you're trying to find somebody to hit.
I didn't even know.
You see him flying over you and you're like, maybe he won't hit me.
Nope, he hit you. All right. I know it's a lot of information, and if you guys like these little tips and tricks, let us know. Give us some feedback in our show feedback segment or channel in our Discord. Let us know if you want more tips like this. Before we end, final thoughts, guys. Final synopsis. I'll start with Peroty. Any final thoughts you want to mention about armor, mods, or stats?
I mean, all the thing I'll say is if you are interested, search YouTube for, armor mod guides, armor mod intros. There's a ton of stuff out there that people have put together.
Yes.
There's no shortage of information. Just sort of, pick again, don't try to do it all at once. Pick sort of, start somewhere. Say, yes. I want to make X better, or I want to make this gun better. How do I do that? And start there. Cause don't try to do it all at once. It's overwhelming.
It will.
Also, you can largely ignore a lot of it because I'll be honest, I'll put mods and things and just sort of leave them there for months. And I tend to use more general things, so I don't switch them around as much. Yeah, sometimes it's useful. Sometimes you can just say, I can play the game without it, but
yeah, that's a nice thing about it. You
can totally ignore this whole thing if you're like, that sounds like a lot of work. You can pick up your gun, shoot somebody, and move on with life, and not have to care about any of this.
That's true. You have, but the thing is, you have the choice. If you want a little bit better advantage over players in PvP, or you want to neutralize enemies and strike so much faster, or get your grenade back faster, or whatever it may be. Yeah, I agree, Peroty. Good words, man. Hey, Hazel, what about you? Final thoughts?
I would say if you have questions about this, let us know in the Discord. Just ask us, go like, hey, or if you see us out in the wild and you're just like, hey, you know what? Hazel's on. I don't know what the hell he's doing, but I want to ask him a question. Definitely just hit me up and, I'll tell you about D2 Armor Picker. I'll explain mods. I'll tell you whatever it is you need to know. Awesome. Sadly, I've forgotten more about this game than most people will probably ever know.
Haven't we all?
Well, you got to play the game, Hazel. Okay, here's what I'm going to tell you, because I
know teach you how to do that.
You do that. This is what I'm going to tell you. I know you're coming back to Destiny from Destiny 1, or maybe you're new to this game, and you're like, I think I'm just going to pass. Don't do it. I'm telling you, you'll get so much more out of this game. Here's what I'll tell you to do. Go float in orbit. Don't jump into a game yet. And first pick, like Hazel and Peroty both said, pick the weapons you want to use. Pick what's comfortable, what's your highest light, whatever it may be, however way you want to do it. Pick your weapons first. And then go to your helmet. Click on inspect on your helmet. And just go one by one and look at all the mods that are available on that helmet that you want to use. And I will tell you this. I'll give you some general knowledge here. 58, it seems to be the magic number. 58 or higher on your general number from your stat is what you're looking for at least some decent stats on your armor. Now, I know there's some outliers. There's some outliers like a 56 that has 26 of it in just intellect. Those are rare pieces, and those are keepers if you want an intellect build. Start with your helmet. See how many slots you're going to need to put the mods you want on. Or if you have plenty of glimmer and all the materials needed, go to the little hammer on the right corner, top corner of the box, and fully upgrade your armor to 10 slots. You'll have a blank slate to start piecing in armor that you want to use. I keep saying armor. Your mods that you want to use. And like I said, just start slow. Start with your helmet. And then when you got your helmet all specced out and ranked up the way you want it, then go to your arms. Go to your gauntlets. See how many slots you want or need for whatever. Or if you want to masterwork it and you got plenty of materials, max out it to 10 slots. It's expensive. I'll tell you right now. You're going to spend a lot of money and materials and special materials. You'll find out. And work on that. And then work your way down. And then before you know it, you're going to have a hell of a setup to go into any situation. Now, myself, I have an armor set that I use for Crucible. And I have an armor set that I use for like raids and strikes, general PvE. And that's the way I do it. But I will say this. I just put the link in our Discord here. I'm going to leave a link in our show notes for the D2 armor picker. I'm trying to remember who turned me onto it. But if you really want to build and spec out your mods to like 3 100s, 3 tier 10s, you can do it easily with this armor picker mod. And if you have a hard time knowing how to use it, just look up D2 Armor Picker on YouTube, and there's a ton of tutorials out there that'll show you how to get started and get it done. It sounds like a lot of work, but I'm telling you, if you want to get more out of this game than just shooting the guns and killing the mans, check this out and just do it this way. Take it very slow from top to bottom, and before you know it, you'll have a killer setup, and you'll be slaying. All right.
One quick disclaimer to what he said is that it's not just going to give you, 3 100 builds.
Oh, no.
That kind of thing. You have to have the armor in your inventory already.
Yes.
And then it will sort it for you and go like, hey, this is what you can do.
Yeah.
So
thank you. Good point. And you have to, when you're out there in the world and all these legendary armors are dropping all the time, don't just dismiss them. Throw them in your vault, especially if you have the space. I don't. But if you have the space, just throw it all in your vault. And when you go to D2 Armor Picker, it'll search every piece of armor for you and find out what you're wanting. Like you want high intellect? You tell them you want high intellect, and it could be a certain tier. It's up to you. You decide. And it'll tell you what armor pieces you have that'll work for that.
Exactly. And then to take it one step further with that real quick here is that if you're out in the wild and you see something drop and you pick it up and it's got a lot of intellect, you can go like, oh shit, I know what that means. I need to hold on to that because it might be good.
Yes.
So there you go.
Well, gentlemen, thank you for your input. Hopefully this helps out some people who maybe don't know about this. And for you out there that are your hardcore Destiny players, thank you for listening along. And I'm sure if you have any feedback on this, any corrections at me, Hazel, or Peroty won't listen. He won't be here to see it, but give us some feedback. Well, I'm just saying he has his own podcast to run. He can't be bothered with our issues. Put it in the show feedback channel in our Discord and let us know if there's something we need to correct to do it. But like Hazel said, if you need help, Discord's full of people that love to help you out. And we're multiple Discords. We're all visiting the same areas. So feel free to say, hey, what does intellect mean? I don't know. What do I need to do with this intellect thing? And someone will spend the time to help you. I guarantee you they will, because they love this game and they want everyone else to love it too. Gentlemen, thank you very much. Appreciate that input. And let's get on to some community questions. We got some good ones tonight. We'll do that right after this.
Hey Guardians, would you like to send us a question for the show? Well, there's 4 ways to do it.
Number 1, join our Discord server. There's a join link in our show notes. We have some great gamers in there, by the way, and you can just lurk or hang out or jump right in and talk with us. There's also a channel labeled Podcast Questions where you can type in your question for the show.
You can also email us at guardiandowncast@gmail.com, or we also tweet out almost every week about our upcoming show, guest, and you can respond there with your questions at guardian_d_cast is our Twitter handle.
Finally, you can send us a voicemail with your questions at speakpipe.com/guardiandowncast. Remember, that's all one word. And we'll play it on the show for you guys.
SpeakPipe is honestly my favorite thing. But anyway, thank you for all you guys do, and toddles.
And later, Guardian. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is that time of the week. This is where we get our questions, and hopefully we'll provide some answers from our community, from our Discord, from our SpeakPipes, email, Twitter, all over the place. And we have 2 tonight from our SpeakPipe service, and this one is from Uncle Scumdeath, and here's the question.
Hello, Scumdeath here. It's Halloween, and I've had trick-or-treaters coming to the door. And every time I've opened the door, I've just screamed at the top of my voice. And the kids have been loving it, but I didn't realise there was a woman with a tiny little baby in her arms, and it shit itself and started wailing. Funny as fuck. So my question for the show is, what's the funniest Halloween trick-or-treat thing you've ever involved in? Love you.
What is the sneakiest thing or the trickiest thing we've done as a Halloween prank, right? That's what he's asking. Peroty, you got an answer for this?
I really don't, because I grew up in the country all growing up on a giant many acre farm, so we never had trick-or-treaters or much Halloween anything, so I don't really have a good answer for this at all.
It's all right. It's all right. You don't have to always have an answer. Hazel, how about you, man?
I forget. Have I told the story about when I got banned from a haunted house?
No. Tell
If
me
not,
more.
you should tell it again.
Tell me more.
So a friend of mine and I, we were maybe like 18, 19, something like that. And we went to this haunted house, and we went in and everything else. We were making fun of it the entire time. We were pointing at stuff going like, gee, look at that. I wonder what's going to come out of that closet. And sure enough, somebody came out of the closet and like some half-hearted attempt going, boo, just because we called it out. So we walked into this one area and there was a big pile of leaves on the right. And we're like, gee, I wonder what's going to happen. And we heard a chainsaw and we're just like, ooh, boy, I bet a chainsaw is going to come right out of there. Well, like the woman that was our guide, she's like, would you two just shut up? She's like, you're going to ruin this for everybody else. And we were just like, we didn't care. We were young and stupid. Well, the guy with the chainsaw ends up coming running from behind us. We fucking shit ourselves and we ran through the rest of the entire place without our guide. So we got to see some of the monsters like smoking cigarettes and drinking and things like this, going like, hey, it's the fucking people. And we got out before anybody else. And the woman who was our guide, she caught up to us and she's like, you're done. She's like, you're never fucking coming back here. Give me your driver's licenses.
Sure, lady. Here, hold on a sec. Let me grab them real quick.
She was just like, just over it.
Oh my God. I've got a little story. I was 13 years old when this happened. I was too old to really trick or treat, and I was bored. And, you know, it's 13-year-old. You can't drive. You can't go anywhere. Can't go to a party or anything. So I decided I was going to scare people off my front porch of my parents' house. I dressed up in some jeans and had some stuff like hay stuffed in my arms and stuff to look like I was just some stuffed dummy sitting there silently on a chair. And as the kids would walk up, I would come to life and chase them. Who a kid hasn't done that, right? Well,
Awesome.
I kind of might have lacked a little judgment in one case where someone was carrying their toddler up in their arms.
Oh,
And I did it. And the baby just freaked. I probably scarred that baby for life and ran after it. And then once I realized what had happened, oh man, if looks could kill. Those parents just wanted to just pulverize me and moved on to the next house. So that was my moment where I was a little shit at Halloween. And I see it done all the time. And I'm like, yeah, good times. Anyway, good question. Good questions, Uncle Scumdeath. Thank you for making a little child shat itself. That was awesome. Not. Okay, we got one here from Arisen Phoenix, and we're going to play it right.
Okay, so one or the other. For the rest of your life, spicy food and maybe ulcers, or sweet food and maybe diabetes?
Yeah. Spicy food for the rest of your life and ulcers, or sweet food and diabetes. That's a tough question, isn't it? How would you
salty with heart,
wasn't
high blood pressure.
Wasn't part of the question. Either or.
Which other types of food go with which other diseases? Now I'm curious.
I don't know. How would you
gout?
Yeah, well there you go, yeah. How would you answer this, Peroty?
Oh, sweet food. I don't do spicy, so sweet, easy, hands down.
Yeah, for me it's definitely sweet. I'm a sweet eater. I like the sweets, and I've tried a few hot sauces and stuff at, local dives, and I pay for it later, and I don't like that feeling at all. My stomach's already not the best, so my wife's the other way around. She can get the spiciest food and be just as happy. So, Hazel?
Yeah, give me the spicy and the ulcers. I'll take it.
God, figures.
Fucking Zantac, and I'm good.
This is why we're so much alike and so much different at the same time. I love it. All right. Thanks for those questions, guys. If you have a SpeakPipe question you want to send to us, don't hesitate. Send it to us. We want to hear your beautiful voice. We're winding down for the year, so send those SpeakPipe questions in. We appreciate that. All right, Hazel, let's jump into the Discord here. We're a little tough on time because we did our special tip segment, so let's maybe pick a few questions here.
Yeah, I think we have a couple for our guest, Mr. Peroty here.
Absolutely.
I hope we don't embarrass you with these, by the way. So, okay. So, first question is from Arisen Penis. It is, question for the show. Why are you so jealous of no one respawns in real life?
Because who wouldn't want to be jealous of a hunter? Glorious hunter, shatter diving everywhere, with a super that kills you from across the map where you just stand there and watch it go. I mean, what's not to love there?
I'm sure we'll get a comment. I love it. Nice. Okay, let's see here.
He's everyone's favorite Florida screamer. I mean, what's not to love?
Yeah, exactly.
Screamer's better than a sweater.
Wow, we got some good questions in here. Gosh, I wish we could answer more, but unfortunately, we're probably gonna have to put some of these off to next week. All right, I got a question here from Hades. Question for the guest: what is it like being the only one that knows the outro to the podcast after 145 episodes?
The outro is passed down from on high from many, many generations and kept sacred. So you can't just trust anyone to that kind of job. We all have a role to play, and apparently mine is the outro. Keep it secret, keep it safe. Don't give it to anybody else. Or give it to them and they don't read it anyway. Either way.
Exactly. Yeah. All right, Hazel.
This is exactly bullshit.
No, I mean that's it's beautiful when he does it. It's so nicely done.
Oh, okay. That's what
I meant. That's what I meant.
So, a question from Oryx, Miser of Thank.
Uh-huh.
And this is Joker, by the way. Question for the parody. What the hell did you do to your Titan? Where is our favorite pink samurai?
Well, I figured after a million years, I have dinosaur armor, and I have Forerunner armor, so I should be a Forerunner dinosaur for a while. Also, they keep putting my Dusk and Dawn shader on like the 19th page of shaders, which I find very irritating. Bungie, can I filter these? Can I sort these in some way? Like, you know which 6 shaders I use. Let me use those and just ignore the rest of them. I know I've gotten them, but I really don't need to see them all every single time I load up the shader thing.
But you might use a different one.
No.
Yeah, that is kind of painful.
Here's one from Ikora's Assassin. We all listen to podcasts and have our favorite podcasters. Mine is
I love this question.
Hazel.
This is my favorite
Sorry,
question.
Gator. What the fuck?
Why is Hazel so amazing? Because he's Hazel, obviously, and a Titan, 2 for 2.
Well, he's asking what podcasters have inspired you in your podcasting. I guess that applies to you too, Peroty, I guess.
Yeah.
Peroty? Any podcasters that inspire you?
There's a couple. There's a guy named John Chidgey, who is a lovely Australian man who was nice enough to have me on his show a couple times and just does really interesting deep dives into things.
Mm-hmm.
And there's so many I've listened to over the years, but I think he's one I'll shout out by name, but that has just really been an inspiration and just a really cool person. Night Team is also not bad. Just seriously, like the amount of work that man puts into things and the little flourishes of audio and just the amount of work that goes into the production just kind of boggles my mind a little bit.
Hazel?
Nice.
What about you, man?
For me, it's a guy. I stumbled upon him. His name is Alex Bloomberg, and he's the CEO of Gimlet Media. They do podcasts, like really high produced podcasts, and it's one of those things where basically like you listen to him and he's in an interview, but it doesn't sound like an interview. It's more of a conversation with just these like touchstone, like kind of questions. And then where it goes from there depends on the answer of the guest.
Right.
So, so that's one thing that I would say there. And then the other would probably be this guy, Warlock asshat next to me, Gator,
me,
because of everything that you do for the podcast. It just like befuddles me, and I can't thank you enough for what you do.
Oh.
That's the nicest thing I'll ever say. So happy Thanksgiving,
dude. I'm recording that for later. Thanks, man.
Clip it, hang on the fridge.
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah. Seriously, I mean, I look at this as, you know, I show up every week and I, you know, blather on for a while, and then somehow, yeah, the editors make this into something, you know, listenable and enjoyable for everybody, which is just an art form in and of itself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's I respect what Night Demon does. I really do. And we have banter. We go back and forth and talk about editing and stuff, all that good stuff. All the woes. For me, there was a little show you might know in the Destiny community called Guardian Radio. This was my very first podcast in the Guardian or in the Destiny community. And I remember Mark Turcotte and K-Dub were two people I loved to listen to. And I loved Mark Turcotte because he was so professional. It's almost like he had radio experience. And I don't know if he did or not, but he was always so professional when he podcasted. And I tried to always emulate that. And K-Dub was a very good conversationalist. He would record in his closet with the blue snowball mic. I remember that. And he always brought a great conversation, and I was always drawn into the chat because, and this was a video podcast. I was always drawn into the chat because they had such great things they talked about, and this is what really got my juices going as far as doing a podcast. It was my first inspiration to podcasting. And there's another podcast you probably know called Gamer Score Radio, and Mr. Paris Lilly. He's a little bit younger than me, but he's about my age, and he just doesn't take shit from anybody. He gives you his opinion, love it or leave it. And I love that about him. I love that he's so forward and non-apologetic and honest. You know, it's hard to do. And okay, for my third, I have to say Hazel, you know, everyone thinks Hazel just shows up to the show and just fumbles along and, you know, hangs in there. And there's a lot of stuff behind the scenes that Hazel does that I probably don't say enough about. Whether it's an idea for a skit before the show, or whether we're going back and forth on talking about what we want to do every week in the show. And I got to give props to Hazel. He puts a lot more work in than I expect. And kudos to you, Hazel. I mean, you really do bring some great ideas, and I'm inspired by that. You give me some great ideas, and happy Thanksgiving.
What was that? I wasn't paying attention.
I think that's fine. Nothing.
I'm in Iron Banner. What?
No, that's fine. We're good. Okay, one more each, and then let's call it a night. No, we're good.
What did I miss?
No, you just listen to the podcast. You'll be good.
Nah, it's okay.
He'll fix it in post. It'll be fine.
Oh yeah, I'll definitely fix it in post. Okay, one more for you, Hazel, and I'll take us out.
All right.
Choose wisely. Or don't. I'm not real, Dad.
So many good questions.
I'm sorry.
Oh, and by the way, before I forget, thank you, Ikora's Assassin, for your kind words.
Thanks. You know, the harder I try, the harder I fail. I swear to God, I can't please everybody. So, I'm just going to be me. I'll be fine.
Okay. So I'm going to hit this really good one right here. Do you guys have a junk drawer? If yes, what's the weirdest thing in there? I found a bunch of Chuck E. Cheese tokens in mine the other day. Thanks. Love the show. Chubby Wizard.
Oh, Chubby Wizard. Awesome. Junk drawer. Yeah, what do we got in it?
How many junk drawers are we limited to for this question?
As many as you want.
I'm pretty sure my wife would define my entire home office as one big junk drawer filled with cables and adapters and hard drives and all sorts of things. I think the weirdest thing that I can think of that I have in a junk drawer is an original 80 gig hard drive that came out of one of the white plastic MacBooks that has Snow Leopard on it that I use as an emergency backup drive every now and again when I need to boot something into a recovery mode. Yeah, we'll go with that.
That's awesome.
Wow. Junk drawers. Jeez, I got a ton of them. You ready for this? I have a original Discman in one of my junk drawers. Some of you don't know what that is. It was made by Sony. You literally put a CD into it and actually could put batteries in the back of it and no rechargeables in. And you can listen to a CD while you're out and about with some wired headphones. Nothing wireless. Yeah, I have the weirdest stuff. I still have a pack of cassettes, blank cassettes. I don't know what I'm saving. I don't know what I'm.
Do you have any way to play or record
I do.
cassettes?
I do have an Onkyo double cassette deck. It's not active right now, but it is out there in my house in one of my closets. But that is one thing I have in my junk drawer is some actual blank cassettes and blank CDs. I don't know. I just can't throw them out.
Does this device actually power on?
Yes, it does. It does.
Okay.
It actually.
So if somebody said, "Gator, I absolutely need this tape made for me," you could theoretically do that.
Yes, I do have a double tape deck. I can record a tape to tape. Yes, it still works. All right, Hazel, what do you got in your junk drawer, man?
Wow. So
what? What'd I say?
That you may need to clean your drawers out maybe like once a
I know my wife tells me that. She goes, you need to clean your office. It's really dated. Yeah.
Once a decade at least.
Yes.
Whether it needs it or not.
Exactly.
I would say once a millennia.
I think it's been 20 years. I would doubt it.
I think it's been more than that.
Probably. I don't know. I'm definitely showing my age now. All right, go ahead. What's in your junk drawer?
So I went through my junk drawer just for this, and we have a pager from one of those like restaurants.
Oh wow, that is
even
old.
Better.
That's 90s tech.
A restaurant in the state where you currently also reside,
possibly. Yeah. My wife and I went there. We were boyfriend and girlfriend at the time, and we were waiting. It was an Olive Garden. You can even still make out sort of the Olive Garden like logo on the little circle that's in there. And we were just like, this is taking way too long, and there weren't that many people there. We waited maybe 45 minutes.
Oof.
And we were just like, screw this, we're out. And we were like in the car waiting because it was cold out. It was winter. And we were just like, I'm like, well, here, like, you want me to go ahead and take it in? And she's just like, no, screw them. So I'm like, okay. And now this has traveled with us for, a majority of, well over a majority of the time we've been together.
Would you forget it was in your pocket?
No, we left.
You just said, heck with it. It's going with us.
That was absolutely screw these guys. This is ours now.
Oh my God!
We're family, and we're going to steal things from you because that's what family would do.
See, now the tech is they actually text your phone. It's awesome.
Yeah, exactly. Because probably people like me.
Took the damn thing. Why do we only have 5 of these now? What the hell? We had 20 earlier today. Yeah. Wow. That's
we only took the one, not like 15.
I know, but you're probably not the only person who's done that. Oh my God.
Start a whole collection, put them on eBay, limited edition. Come on.
Chubby Wizard. Great question, buddy. Great question. Okay. I'm gonna end the podcast question on this one. Question for the game. Question for the game? Question for the show. It says QFTG. Question for the guest. What's the best thing about doing the podcast? Is it something you look forward to every week?
Ought to be question for the group.
Yeah, there we go. Let's all answer it. We'll start with Peroty, though.
So let's see. So speaking as the game, I think I've decided to be the game for this one.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really, to be completely honest with you, my last year, I think everybody has a different story of how their 2020 went. Mine was an absolute blur of working very long hours and never leaving my house.
Mm-hmm.
And there was something really nice about sort of being grounded. Like this is going to sound terrible, but it was sort of how I grounded myself in the weeks. I'd be like, okay, the TWAB is out. That means it's Thursday. Okay, that means that the podcast is coming up Saturday. I talked to my nerd friends and we talked about Destiny for a couple hours. It really had turned into my way of sort of just to tell where we were in the week and how time was progressing, because every day was just 10, 12-hour days sitting in this small room yelling at computers. So it really has, and remains being a time where I can wake up and talk to two nerds about Destiny, which, what better thing to do is that? It's just so much fun, and I truly, and believe me when I say this, truly never know what's going to happen week to week.
I bet.
What I'm going to wake up and walk into. So it's definitely exciting and definitely interesting every week.
Yeah, you guys have a very entertaining podcast. I love listening to it. It's very good.
Yes.
Good dynamics. All three of you have good dynamics, so at least I think so.
Yeah, definitely.
Hazel, what's your answer to this?
Thing I look forward, or the thing I like best about podcasting, or doing the podcast, is basically building a community.
Yeah.
Because I'll be honest, the community that we built is second to none. And I was just thinking about it, and I mean, I think it was today even, and the community that we have now is different than the way it was maybe 6-8 months ago.
Oh yeah. A lot of new faces.
And those new faces, I mean, they keep showing up and talking, and it's just like our community just keeps evolving.
Yeah. I agree. It
just feels good.
It's really surreal, isn't it? I wake up every morning, I get to say hello to a bunch of my friends online. And they say hi back. It's awesome.
Yep.
Yes, I do look forward to doing the podcast every week. It's just become a part of my life. If it's a Thursday or Friday, depending on our guests, that's it every week. My life revolves around the podcast. It really does. You know, a lot of things probably fall short. Some of my gameplay I've noticed is not as robust because of podcasting. Because podcasting takes a lot of time to prep for. It takes a lot of, not just editing, but you have to produce some good content, some good ideas for the next show. And you have to do that every week. For me, the one thing, or one of the best things I love about doing the podcast, one word, dialogue. I love having a dialogue with someone, whether it's just me and Hazel or like the three of us tonight, whether it's a YouTube creator, like someone like a Senate Nomad, want to talk Crucible, or if it's just someone in our community we just want to catch up with and just have fun and talk with. I look forward to this every week, and I don't foresee quitting anytime soon. I mean, when we hit the 150 mark, I guess we'll have to make a decision, since our forebears stopped at 150. But yeah, I love doing the podcast every week. It is a labor of love. It does take a lot of work to produce a podcast, a lot more than just sitting down, recording and saying that's a wrap and throwing it out there. It's a lot of planning, a lot of stuff that goes into it that maybe you don't see. All you're seeing is the polished product every week coming out on your podcast app or on the website or whatever. So, and I love talking to this knucklehead over here. We're very different in a lot of ways. We both love Destiny, but we're very different personality types. And I think that makes for a good host. Because if we all said, yeah, I agree, that who cares? No one wants to hear that. They want to hear dialogue. They want to hear maybe a dissenting comment or argument about something. And I just love that Hazel does that. You know, I love it when, and there's some things he agrees with me with, but for the most part, I love that Hazel looks at the other side of it or has a different side of the question or a different opinion. That makes for good content, in my opinion. So, yeah. I can go on all night if you let me.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, go ahead and say all the good things about Hazel.
That's okay. You've had enough back pats tonight. I think we're good. Even the part you didn't even listen to. Anyway, community,
I am
thank
gonna have
you.
To listen to that.
Maybe I'll edit it out. Community, thank you very much. We love that you put questions in every week and keep them up. Keep them coming. We got a couple months left here till the end of the year, and I want to answer as many as we can. A little short tonight on questions because we know we had a little tip segment, and we wanted to see if we can help some of the newer players out there understand some of the parts of the game. So thank you for that. And if we didn't get to your question, and believe me, we see them. They're pinned right here in our Discord, and we do have our legacy pin list as well. I'll pull from those next week as well. Thank you for sending them in. And what's that, Mr. Fudd?
Guardian Downcast. Guardian Downcast. Yeah, Guardian Downcast. This is an intro. Guardian Downcast. Guardian. Not copyright. Guardian Downcast.
Hey, everybody. This is our last segment of our show. This is where we pick our songs for our award-winning Guardian Downcast show playlist. It's a little sample of what the two of us and our guests here like to listen to, and we invite you to listen to it as well. If you want to follow along and see what we add every week and see if, we're full of crap, we have poor taste in music, or whether you're something you might want to add to your own collection, search for Guardian Downcast show playlist on Spotify, and I got the link in our show notes as well if you use the iTunes route, or iTunes Music, Apple Music. So now we have 842 songs representing all of us and all of our past guests since we started this crazy podcast. And I'll start with Peroty. What'd you add tonight, sir?
I added 2 songs, and now I'm going to have to go pull them up here since I forgot which ones they were. I added 2 songs from Halsey's new album because I go, again, I was talking about earlier, sometimes it'll be music, sometimes it'll be podcasts, sometimes it'll be audiobooks. I'm really feast or famine when it comes to music. Sometimes I'll listen to something and just that'll be all I'm listening to. That's the song, that's the album, that's whatever it is forever. And Halsey's album really fell into that for me. So I picked 2, and it's her new If I Can't Have Love, I'll Have Power, something like that.
Mm-hmm. She was just on Saturday Night Live a couple weeks ago. It's really good.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, good. For one, I found out about, Halsey is sort of a, I enjoy listening to just because it's out there, it's poppy, it's fun. But also, really, anything I hear that Trent Reznor is going to produce, I have to at least check out and be interested in, because I'm a huge Nine Inch Nails fan. So anything he touches, I at least need to give the time of day to. But also, I remember years ago, he would talk about how he wanted to do a Nine Inch Nails project with a female, or like a Nine Inch Nails-esque project with a female vocalist. And there have been a couple of How to Destroy Angels and a couple of variations of that. He's worked with other people. But I really got that vibe with this album. Especially there's 2 songs, The Tradition and Whispers. So The Tradition just has some beautiful harmonies and beautiful, there's I don't know if it's synthesizers or what it is that Trent Reznor uses, but I'll hear a song that he produces, and I'll hear those, I'll just Nine Inch Nails elements, and I'll be like, oh, I know that sound. I know what it is. I don't know what makes that sound. I am not a music guy, but I'll be like, that sound is familiar. I know that sound. And there's something weirdly comforting about that. Neat to be like, I know what this is. It feels warm and inviting, and this is where I should be. So I've been listening to this album by Halsey on repeat nonstop for weeks. And it's just, I don't know. It just hits that sweet spot for me right now.
Hey, I got a question. Did you watch the Song Exploder on Netflix about Trent Reznor?
Oh, the moment, yeah.
Yes,
the Song great, Exploder, which is also a phenomenal podcast.
Yeah.
If you don't listen to Song Exploder and you've ever been curious about how that song is made or why that song is,
yeah,
it's a phenomenal podcast. Rishikesh Hirway does a incredible job with it. And yeah, there's I think 8 episodes on Netflix, Nine Inch Nails being one of them.
It's very good.
It's so good. Like he's so good, and the conversations he has are really, really good. And no, absolutely. I deeply enjoyed that.
On the opposite side of the spectrum, on Apple TV, Mark Ronson has a similar type of show, but it's mainly about production. It's on the production side, not so much the artists and their song, but actually different production methods like drum machines and synthesizers and sampling and stuff like that. If you haven't watched that, I don't know if you have access to Apple TV, but it was one of my favorite music documentary shows lately. It's really good.
Oh, nice. No, I hadn't heard of that, but yeah. Okay, yeah. And her album is Power. And if you keeping on that visual trend, if you do have access to HBO, there's like a full movie, for lack of a better word. It's like, sort of a collection of not really music videos, but like sort of a whole narrative that goes along with the entire album. And I just really enjoyed it. Partially just listening to the album again and just having something, a whole story to go with it. I miss the good days where you get these full length visual albums and collection of music videos for songs.
What show was that? What show was that again? I think you cut out.
It's just called If I Can't Have Love, I Want Power by Halsey. There's a whole it's of the same name on HBO Max. Gotcha. It's like a whole movie for the album.
Oh, I'll be watching that. I love her music, by the way. I've always liked her music. It's always a little edgy. No, I like that kind of music.
Oh, yeah. Well, this is definitely edgy. I listened to this as well. And I mean, the minute he said it was Trent Reznor, I was like, oh, shit. I'm in. Okay, I need to listen to it. Yeah. And you can definitely hear, I mean, exactly like he said, those familiar parts of the song where you're just like, oh, this could, you could easily put this with Nine Inch Nails and nobody would just bat an eyelash and be like, oh, this is just them. But
wow, I'm sold. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But it's really well done, though.
Okay.
So not prog rock, just to be clear. Not prog rock.
No, they speak English.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of English,
I know that. Mm-hmm.
What songs did you pick this week, Hazel?
So, in light of the whole Trent Reznor thing, I was listening to Nine Inch Nails. And one of their songs that I really, really liked was The Day the World Went Away.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that's one of my songs there. Mm-hmm. And then the other one that I'm adding is we have one version of this. Gator went out of his way to make sure that I knew that we had this on there. And so I'm adding the original. So this is Wolf Totem by The Who. Not The Who, but The Who.
H-I-U.
No, it's H-U.
Yeah, so didn't I say that? Never mind. Now you hear that? You hear that, Peroty? That's what I have to do.
Yeah, it's just a great rock song that just makes you want to punch someone.
Yeah. Didn't you call it Mog Rock? Mongolian rock?
Perfect.
I love it. I love it.
Well, it is Mongolian.
Yeah,
Mongolian rock, and yeah,
it has that deep throat sound. That didn't sound right. It has that throaty type.
That's not any better. But yes, it's definitely it's like this hard rock. It makes you want to just, like I said, it just makes you want to punch something.
Nice. I heard I could have sworn it was Nate Fu that added that song.
I think so.
I usually can remember who chose the songs because they usually stand out, but I may be wrong. Nate, just correct me if I'm wrong there, buddy. Okay. My two songs, they're actually from the same person tonight. He's a composer, record producer. He's from Frankfurt, Germany. He's 64 right now. He's known for mixing electronic music sounds with traditional orchestral arrangements. And
does this still count as prog rock?
No, it's not. It's not prog rock at all. And for these, we talked about Dune. And if you didn't watch our bonus episode, please pick that up on your podcast app of choice. We had a bonus episode talking just about Dune this week with our friend Nolsey. Nolsey, thank you again for talking with us on that. He read the book extensively and had a great knowledge base for us to go by on that. And what was the other movie that I loved? It was by Denis Villeneuve. Is that right? Villanueva. Close enough. Is Blade Runner 2049. So This man has received 4 Grammy Awards, 3 Classic Brit Awards, 2 Golden Globes, and an Academy Award. He's also named on the list of top 100 living geniuses. Wow. If you've ever seen an awe-inspiring movie that you just sat there in the theater and just listened to the music playing at the end credits, and you just couldn't leave until you kind of heard all the way through the end. Well, one of my 2 songs is just that. The songs that kept me sitting in the theater, amazed at what I just saw, and the music just kept me engaged and captivated. I'm not talking about end scene credits either. I'm talking about just sitting there listening to the music. So my first pick is the ending credits for Blade Runner 2049. The music they play at the end, it's obviously called Blade Runner. My second pick is the song. This is the scene in the movie of Dune, the current Dune. It just kind of haunted me. This kind of music is just sticks in your head after you watch the movie. And the title of it's called Leaving Caladan. It was a scene where the Duke was moving his family to Arrakis. Seeing those giant ships just moving off slowly into the horizon. Man, just an awesome scene. Okay, the artist that created these 2 amazing songs is none other than Mr. Hans Zimmer. If you listen to these songs, do me a favor, do them justice, put in a good pair of earbuds or listen to them. Listen to it through an amazing stereo system to get the full effect. It is just outstanding music. So, a little different picks for me this week. Mrs. Gator had a pick this week. I was a little surprised. She says this song is kind of an odd one. I didn't love it the first time I heard it, but I really liked it when I listened to it again. She chose the song Chasing Birds from the Foo Fighters, but this is a mix that includes the Preservation Hall Jazz Band. Foo Fighters call it a reversion. So, I don't know. I listened to it. It sounded pretty unique, that's for sure. A couple of announcements before we go. A little housekeeping, if you will. The first one was that we are doing scrims, our PvP scrims on Monday nights. And I believe it's going to be 10 p.m. Eastern. Is that right, Hazel?
Right. Yeah. It's Monday and Wednesday.
And what exactly is a scrim?
When Iron Banner is not in.
Yes. When Iron Banner's not in session. What is a scrim exactly for people who might not know?
It's basically a scrimmage, basically, for PvP. So that way you can go ahead and you can have something that you want to practice on. So for myself, it was using hand cannons, which I just didn't use at all. And it's just trying to have a good time with a different type of rule set instead of a free for all that we typically get, in most PvP.
Right. And it's amongst friends. It's in a private match, so it doesn't affect any of your stats if you're following your stats in Crucible and trying to improve.
Gator. Yeah.
Well, I mean, who doesn't? I mean, numbers are everything, man. And the other announcement I wanted to, we said this last week, but I wanted to repeat it here, is we are having another clan cast. And we've decided to have it on Friday, December 3rd. So if you're in the Guardian Downcast clan, you're all invited. So anyone who wants to join in and speak your mind about what's going on in Destiny, that's going to be basically what we're doing. And just DM Hazel or myself. And I believe Chubby Wizard has already said he's going to be there. So I can't wait to talk to him again. I love that guy. So yeah, I believe that's it, guys. Another episode in the can. If you are a new listener out there, we have 119 other episodes with interviews from gamers all over our community. So take a look at those, especially if you're just finding out about us. Peroty, hey man, we had a great time tonight. Thanks for stopping in. I know you're a busy guy, and I guess playing hard to get kind of worked this time, huh?
Yeah, it worked out. I really appreciate it. Like I said, I've been here with many other voices before, but yeah, it was fun to sit and talk in depth, and it was good times.
Yeah, man, definitely. We appreciate you. We appreciate you coming on tonight. How can people find your podcast, and how can people find you, sir?
Well, people can find the podcast really if you just type in Two Titans and a Hunter, not just Two Titans, because that's a Russian podcast, and I don't know what they talk about because I don't speak Russian. But Two Titans and a Hunter.podbean.com is our site, or really just type it into Spotify, type it into your podcatcher, type it into YouTube. We're there. You'll find us. Me, I'm Peroty, Peroty on Twitter. Basically anywhere I can exist, I exist. I may not be there interactive, but that's where I hang out. Twitter, usually, if you're trying to get a hold of me, or peroty@gmail.com is my email. If for any reason you're like, hey, let's talk to this guy, he seems interesting or halfway literate. Yeah.
Yeah.
And obviously Xbox Live, same thing. I play on Xbox and Xbox only, so I say we can be friends. I may have time to play with you. I make no guarantees. How's that for a sales pitch?
Oh, very good, dude. Very good. Well, thank you again, man. We appreciate it.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yes.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. This has been awesome.
Yeah, good show, man. Good show. Hazel, how can people find you, sir?
Hazel NT, anywhere and everywhere, except on Twitch, where I'm the Hazel NT.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
And I do plan on streaming some, and we are going to be streaming our scrims. So
yes,
keep an eye out.
Ooh, that's exciting.
Yeah, you'll be streaming on Twitch. I'll be streaming on our YouTube channel. So you'll have two different ways you can follow and see what's going on.
Yep.
Very cool, man. I'm glad you're streaming, man. I was hoping you do that. I mentioned I threw out a question on Twitter this week. I said, it'd be great is if we had an actual theater mode that we can put in Destiny 2 for the new Witch Queen season, where you can actually literally dissect a Crucible match from any perspective in the game. I know, what was it? Black Ops did this in Call of Duty. And I love doing this because I could literally follow along a person that kicked my ass in a game and just saw what they did. You can go to their perspective and hit play and actually follow along that person's game and what they were doing right, what they were doing wrong. And I really wish that's something we could add into Destiny 2 in the future. Even for strikes, you could play a strike back and say, well, what did he do here? How did he not die from this champion boss here? And you can see what they did, Anyway, just my 2
If only
cents.
there was some company that had done that before, had some sort of Halo theater mode in some game called Halo. I mean, I feel like it's got to be doable. But no, I totally agree with you. I always enjoyed Halo mode God, now you got me doing it. It's too late. Theater mode in Halo. There was a forge you could campaign. You could go and I think either open the forge or go into a theater mode and watch your entire campaign back.
Yeah.
From a free floating, you can either look at it from the perspective of one of the people playing or just go free flowing. I am just a bird in the sky flying and seeing everything from that bird's eye view. And it was super cool to, one, go back and that's where all the, a lot of the machinima stuff came from and all the doing stories with, hey, look at this silly thing we did. But that would be so much fun to have.
Yeah, it would. What was the name of the game again?
Halo, I think it was called.
Never heard of it. No way.
With a Mr. Chef, I think was the guy who was the main character.
No, never heard of it.
Mr. Chef.
I don't know.
Hello, children.
You can find me on Twitter at Todd the Gator. Remember, that's GATR. You can also find me on Steam and PS5. Gator, all caps, GATR. Don't forget those underscores. And I'm on YouTube. Either Gator, GATR, or Gator-Guardian Downcast, where we also post all of our episodes that you're listening to right now. So if you like to hang out on YouTube and you just want to listen to our show via YouTube, we have that option for you. We can't leave tonight without a Scum Death's Corner.
I thought you meant ever.
Well,
you're holding us hostage here.
Well, I'll let you know when you can leave, Peroty.
Fair enough.
Ouch. Okay.
Hello, and welcome to Scum Death's Corner. Wow, it finally happened. I managed to get a Destiny 2 raid-in with you guys. Oh, what a blast. I must say thank you very much to Gator Helios, Old Thumbs, Mr. Monkey, Red Grackle, Easy Gaming. Oh, you made it such a great night. I can't believe it. Well, I just can't thank you enough. It was a great experience. And when it sort of finished, there was a yellow engram there, which I quickly grabbed. I had to delete a couple of shotguns to pick it up. But it was the Vex Mythoclast. And one person was quite annoyed with that, but he'll get over it. He'll get it one day. But it was one of the greatest gaming nights. I've been gaming since, I was a young child, and that was honestly the best gaming experience of my life. It was awesome. Such a good laugh. I do apologise for my language. I was swearing all the time. But I was really nervous before we were doing it, and I think I just got away with myself. But it was I'm watching it back now, actually. I don't know if you can hear this.
No, Google Blue Waffle Fast.
Better use an incognito browser.
Oh, Googling Blue Waffles.
Yes.
Remember that,
If you
guys?
really want
Yeah, it was great. And I just can't thank you enough. So, cheers, boys. Really appreciate it. And let's do it again. Love ya. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Mr. Scumdeath. Yeah, I had a great time playing, and I actually thought to myself, I said, what are the odds that on his very first raid, Vault of Glass, he gets the Vex Mythoclast? See, I can't talk because my very first run, I got the grenade launcher from
Anarchy.
Yeah, the Anarchy, and on my second run, I got my 1,000 voices. So. Yeah, I can't complain because Destiny RNG has been good to me as well. It's just not. Maybe I've got my 2 good RNGs and that's it. But I think I'm on 14 runs and I haven't gotten it yet. And I think Easy Gaming said he had 77 runs.
77, yeah.
And he hadn't got it yet. And Helios, I think he did 55 before he finally got it. So, gosh, kudos to you guys for hanging in there. It didn't matter to me. I acted like I was all upset, but I was just happy for Uncle Scumdeath that he was able to finish his first raid. So that was a lot of fun.
Oh, that's
Exactly.
awesome.
Yeah, that was great to watch. I haven't smiled that much in forever.
Yeah, it's a great time. Hey, everyone. Continue to be safe out there, and more importantly, take care of one another.
Guardians are measured by their ability to come back from defeat. So stand. Fight!
Thank you all so very much for listening. And later, Guardian.
Toddled.
See ya.
Great show. It's almost like you've done this before.
Almost. Didn't have to say now. Do you have a quiet place to record? Do you have a microphone? Do you have any idea what you're doing?
Yeah. Do you have what kind of mic are you using? Okay. That's good. That should work.
I've got the AirPods in my living room with my family all around screaming. Is that good for you? Does that work?
That may be a no.
No. So you have another podcast to do in how many hours?
Let's see, 9.5.
Oh man. Well, hey, at least you got your somewhat
Get
sped up.
The extended cut.
Somewhat sped up with the TWAB. I mean,
yeah. This was one of those weeks. I'm going to make some notes on the trial stuff, but really, I was like, there's nothing here. It's crickets.
That's good. It'll be a quicker show for you guys.
Oh, see, you think that every time I think, I go, okay, this is fine. Night Demon will find like 57 new videos, or we'll find like some new outrage of the week, or some discussion point, or
Respawn.
Just scream for an hour and a half about Shadow.
I was going to say Respawn rant.
You never know what you're going to get. Yeah, no, I've given up after 100. I think this will be episode 146 tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
I've given up even trying to say, maybe it'll be a short show. I used to tell my wife, no, don't worry, it should be a short show. She's like, you've been at it for 3.5 hours. Well, I had aspirations.
You're like, but I love you.
Yeah, I love you. I just tell her I love you more than Destiny. Just remember that.
Yes.
And she rolls her eyes, looks at me, and goes, "Sure you do."
Well, give our regards to Night Demon and Respawn, and good luck tomorrow.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah. This was fun. Thanks for. I know you messaged me like a million years ago and going, "Hey, when are you gonna come on?" And I was like,
soon,
one day, eventually. And then I was like, "Oh, he messaged me again. Oh God, it's been like a million years since then."
Playing
I should
hard to
just
get.
say yes. And
hey, we're just happy you said yes, man.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, no, yeah. It's always fun. It's always a good time. I really enjoy your guys' show. So
Thanks, man. We appreciate it.
And ramble along with you. We can kick you. We're not trying to, but we can. You can be forcibly removed. We'll call security.